that made me who I am, the environment and background that made me who I am, are different from the ones that made you, different from the ones that made Mr. Saf. So your interpretation of a particular situation is based on the body of knowledge that developed you into the man that you are today. So more than likely, you will see things differently from the way I see it. So once you understand that you cannot expect to see yourself in somebody else, you give them a long rope to express themselves. In doing that, you allow room and time for tempers and everything to calm down. You allow yourself room to adapt to whatever is coming your way. So with criticisms, I listen attentively. I listen actively. I listen to hear exactly what you are saying, not how you are saying it. And when I see things, that make sense from what you're saying, I actually adapt. I do that. It's easy for me. When you say betrayal, yes, it's only people who are close to you that can betray you. You understand? Because you have invested trust in them. But if you understand that this person is also human and no one is above mistakes, sometimes people do things not necessarily having thought it through. Some people don't sit down and plan that I'm going to betray you. Some people just respond, to stimuli, and it happens.
So they are just opportunistic betrayal.
Sometimes it happens. But even when some people wake up in the morning and they ask themselves, whose life am I going to make miserable today? And imagine if it turns out to be you.
I find it amusing how there's a lot to learn from both of you. Criticism, opposition, betrayal. You are the political guru here. How do you handle it? Even if it's wrong, especially when it's from people that know you, they know your story. So his experience is really deep, like you mentioned. So how do you handle your own people that are very close to you?
Now, for me, out of the three, criticism, opposition, and betrayal is a little difficult. But criticism and opposition is good for every one of us. Even when you talk about positive and negative criticism, positive one is good for you. The negative one is also good for you. One thing that normally if people criticize me, one thing I know that sometimes people criticize because they were not even privileged to know something something you have. Then they criticize you based on their level. But if you are sincere enough, you will now look at it, okay, what this person is saying is correct, then I need to improve. If it's not correct, let me give you an instance. There's somebody we share the same office. I have 5 whites that wear under as it should, but the guy thought it's only one white I was wearing every day. You can imagine as close as that person to me. I just look at if this person knew, he won't have even said what was saying. Then you can imagine at that level. That's why I say criticism and opposition is good for you. Even as an opposition, you need to prove the person. If somebody is opposing you, your own is to determine, to prove to the person that you can be better. But betrayal, like I said, becomes difficult a little to manage. David said that if it is an enemy that did it to me, I won't have bother. But we go to the house of God, we put counsel together, we eat together. But like he said, you must realize that as long as that person is human, is bound to make mistake. How I manage betrayal, which I say is difficult, that one, like Mr. Austin said, you don't expect everybody to be like you. 2, again, I will feel it initially, but within a second, it's a human being. Because I expect any human being to behave funny, to do anything to you. But with that, you'll be able to manage it and move forward.
Parting shots now. Someone is listening. That's how our show is. The person wants to give up. What do you have to say to the person?
No, this is not the time to give up. Don't give up. No matter how difficult it is, no matter how dark it may seem, there's light at the end of that tunnel. This is the time to actually dig in. This is the time to reinvent yourself. This is the time to think of new things. This is the time to develop yourself further. And it's only over after you have decided that it's over. Once you switch yourself up, that's the time that it's over. But as long as you remain in the mix, a lot of better things can actually happen. Let me just close by saying there's a guy, I think his name is Gary Hamel, he's a businessman. He says that companies fail, and by companies now, let me also use individuals. Companies fail by investing a lot in the things that are happening now as opposed to investing in the things that could happen
in the future.
In the future. All right. So if you decide to give up now, then you have shut yourself away from the wonderful things that are waiting for you in the future.
Your take?
Well,
Like question, final answer.
For
In conclusion, what do you say to them?
There's no need to give up. As long as you are still breathing, that means there's a hope. It's only a dead man. That is why they say a living dog is better than a dead lion. As long as you are alive, there's no. You can see somebody beside you that is making it. Then why can't you make it? You see somebody. If you listen to some people, you will even be surprised that your own case is a calm case. Some people are surviving a more difficult situation, and then you are shouting over a minority. But also remember, difficult time bring out the best in every man. But nobody achieves something successful by being peaceful. When the tough time comes, it bring out the best.
This is amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll finish with the Akamu case. Even that Akamu is not easy to make. It means that as simple as life may look, it gets difficult. Well, you're not giving up. You are resilient and you will get to the other side. Thank you for having this show with us. Thank you so much, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
What an honest and empowering conversation. Resilience isn't about being perfect. It's about not quitting. It's about standing tall, even with scars. And today, Austin Onono and Asef Kolawole have shown us what it truly means to be built to endure. To every man watching this right now, maybe you've lost something, a job, a relationship, a dream. Maybe the weight feels too much, but hear this, you are still standing, and that means your story isn't over. Thank you, gentlemen, for your wisdom and transparency. And thank you to our viewers for joining us on Achievement, where we remind you that your struggle is valid, your strength is real, and your future is still bright. Let's continue this important conversation. Follow at Achievement Channel on Instagram, Facebook, X, Twitter, and YouTube for more achievement content and updates. Use the hashtag #WeSeePossibilities and share your thoughts with us. I'm Antizoloe, and until next time, keep pushing, keep growing, and never stop believing.
Keep on watching Achievement Channel. You guys are doing a great job.
Oh, Achievement Channel is the best. Achievement Channel is the best.
My name is Azu Ishekwene. I'm the editor-in-chief of Leadership. Keep watching the Achievement Channel if you want to be and continue to remain an achiever. Best.
Keep watching Achievement Channel because my name is Ray Chebri. Please keep watching Achievement Channel.
Okay, my name is Nkechubi and you should watch the Achievement Channel.
Welcome once again to Achievers Book Club. I'm Sarah Undu, your reading companion and guide. Every week here on the Achievement Channel, we open the pages of transformational books that help you live, lead, and achieve more intentionally. This week, we are focusing on a cornerstone text for anyone serious about impact, Developing the Leader Within You by the incomparable John C. Maxwell. Get ready to discover that leadership isn't just a title, it's a journey of growth and influence. Because here at the Achievement Channel, we see possibilities. This book isn't just a bestseller, it's a masterclass in true leadership. Since its original release, Developing the Leader Within You has revolutionized how millions worldwide perceive and practice leadership. Maxwell dismantles the myth that leadership is solely about position or power, teaching us that it's fundamentally about influence. He invites us to understand that effective leadership is an inside job, beginning with personal growth before extending to others. Let's unpack the core principles that build an influential leader. My guest today is no stranger to impact. He's a speaker, coach, and Nigeria's one Mr. Motivator. He's here to help us uncover the life-changing wisdom in John C. Maxwell's principles. Welcome back to the book club, Mr. Motivator.
Thank you, Sarah. It's good to be back.
Thank you. So, Mr. Motivator, John C. Maxwell fundamentally states that leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less.
Absolutely.
So, but in a vibrant and a dynamic economy like this, Nigeria, where influence can manifest in so many ways, either from community leadership or to tech startup, whatever, how crucial is it for aspiring leaders now to truly grasp this concept, both locally and on a global space?
Yes, the concept of influence.
Influence.
Which is really what that book is about. I like to refer to it as the most developmental book on leadership. The first book anyone aspiring to grasp the most basic of concepts about leadership should read. Because if you cannot discover yourself in order to lead yourself, you don't stand a prayer when it comes to leading others, developing the leader within you. So let's look at your question. How crucial is understanding John C. Maxwell's core argument, or his own core definition of leadership, which is simply put, influence, impact, making a difference. How crucial is that understanding for Nigerians, especially in a given context? It is very crucial because when you look at the typical mentality surrounding leadership in Nigeria, it is titular. It is always title-centric. It is always about position. Your brother gets appointed the chief executive of a company today. You jump up in celebration. We have arrived. We have someone in a very key and powerful position. You used to look at him in the eye to greet him before that time. Now, all of a sudden, because of that position, you no longer can look at him eyeball to extend a common courtesy. The position has changed a lot of things, and we use the word change in level. And so we begin to create so much more out of human beings because of position, positional changes. And by extension, we conclude that that is what leadership is all about. Such paradigm is what John C. Maxwell challenges in his book, in this book, Developing the Leader Within You. So say, wait a minute. That shift in position or that elevation to a higher post does not necessarily imply that leadership is in the mix, because if the person has not yet developed themselves to lead, the position does not change anything. In fact, in the same book, John Maxwell puts it this way, that the position only buys you time. It buys you time to either develop the leadership skills or buys you time to expose you. Absolutely. And for you to lose whatever respect you once had. It's all your choice as to how you use that time. So, to your question, how important, how crucial it is for us in this environment, regardless of what we are into. And we must interpret whether we are in tech or community leadership, business leadership, religious leadership, political leadership, whatever it is, positions or context. Let me not just use the word leadership. We must see all of these contexts as mere situations, calling for us to bring to bear the leadership skills we've developed within ourselves. So first, I say get away or push aside that titular mentality, that it's about a title or a position, and focus on the very essence of what leadership truly represents, which is influence. Meaning that I may have a small community it doesn't make me any less a leader than a man who leads an army. Because it's not by sheer size or numbers. It's not by mere quantifiable metrics that one becomes more of a leader than another. Rather, it's by the impact, the influence that they bring to bear within that context. You're a leader if you have a team of 2 in your office and you can influence them to stay on target, to focus on the goals, and to achieve results. And you didn't need to bang the table, you didn't need to append anything, you simply guided them, became a source of inspiration, challenged them, and made sure there was collaboration, and in the end, they met the timeline and they delivered on the objective. That's leadership. Based on John C. Maxwell's definition in this book. Influencing means that you were able to influence those 2 colleagues of yours to get the job done, to achieve the results. That is leadership. Whereas you could have a political figure, a governor who is in charge of a state, for instance, with all of the resources, financial resources, human resources, the clout, the goodwill, the laws, everything, and they are floundering and unable to provide leadership. Why? Because they've not developed the leadership mindset and the leadership skill set required in those respective situations. So let us separate situations and positions from the actual disposition to lead. That is how Nigerians must understand this, so that you don't think of yourself less a leader or not even a leader because you don't seem to have the trappings or the external markers of a title or of a position or of a situation around you, so you wish yourself away from actual leadership. That is not true. It is the skill set, the mindset that you apply in being selfless, in working towards goals and harnessing the involvement of others towards producing results. That is what influence is about, and by extension, in very clear terms, that is the definition of leadership. You can do it. The little child in primary school can do it. The secondary school kid can do it. In the university, you can do it. In your private business, you can do it. In your home as well, you can do it. Yes. Siblings can lead one another, even in their homes. In a family of what, 2, 3, or 4 children, even 2. Leadership can be cultivated there. It's not a title, it's not a position. So Maxwell deals a very serious blow against that mentality. And that is what we have to deal with, or put properly aside, or push aside completely in this kind of culture, in a cultural context where you begin to look up to people because they are in a position, yet that responsibility attached to the position they are unable to deliver. There are people today who are governors of states who have failed the leadership test, but everybody sees them because of the position they defer. There are chief executives of companies who are running the companies aground, but when they drive in, everybody kneels around. Everybody rushes. Everyone would rush and say, hey, we want to be a part of this. Oh, we look up to you, you're the one. That's not leadership. That's positional attempts to claim leadership. It is not sustainable. Invariably, we will see you for who and what you are, that you lack the leadership capabilities. But there could be someone in a nondescript position who gradually, through their influence, there is impact, there's results. And we look at it and say, wow, how did you get there? Someone was being responsible, being alive to what that position or what that context required. They used their initiative, they volunteered themselves, they were selfless. And they found ways to galvanize participation by others to say, look, let's do this together. Let's get to where this needs to be. Which is part of what John Maxwell describes in his book, that a good leader is one that knows the way. He not only knows the way, he's also willing. They have a vision, they have skills, they have talent, they have knowledge. He's also willing to to take some risk, to what? To go the way himself. A good leader is not waiting for permission. That's leadership. He's willing to go the way himself, regardless of risk to him, regardless of the unknown. Meaning that leaders should be dealers in hope. And then, after going the way, he then looks and says, wow, this journey could be much more productive if I could bring others on board. And that leader then, according to Maxwell, shows the way. He knows the way. He doesn't just keep quiet or stay apathetic. It inspires him to say, what next? What can I do about it? At what risk to myself? At what cost possibly to me? You know what? I'm going to take the bull by the horn. I'm going to invest in the effort, take the risk, seize the initiative. Rather than being a wheelbarrow, I'm going to self-start and go the way and not stop there. I want to transcend by showing the way. Then that's what makes for leadership. And that has got to be the new way that we approach things in Nigeria, regardless of what we do.
Wow. Wow. That's absolutely true. So in a nutshell, you say that leadership is not just a title.
Yes.
Yes, so it simply says that it's an inside-out journey.
Absolutely.
So it starts from your character and your consistent action.
That's right.
Okay, amazing.
That then inspires others to say, wow, we can follow.
Okay.
That's the beauty of it, because as John Maxwell will also tell you, that he that thinks he's leading and has no one following is merely taking a walk. And there are many people today taking walks in their minds. They think they are leading. They don't know that they're just on their own, because no one is actually following.
Mr. Motivator,
Yes.
so the law of the lead
Yes.
is one of Maxwell's most impactful principles, suggesting our leadership ability caps our overall effectiveness.
That's right.
So how does this lead typically manifest, perhaps for someone building a business here in Nigeria or a global professional thing? And what immediate action can our viewers take from this?
So this lead, the concept of the lead is, a lead is a covering, a ceiling, which is essentially saying there's a ceiling there that you cannot go beyond. And that ceiling is usually self-imposed. You have a business leader or a business owner who stops taking courses, who stops learning, who stops attending conferences, who stops even reading, who stops going out there to learn more and understand the current trends about that business, the kind of skill sets required. A business owner who stops learning about human behavior, because you need to understand human behavior to run that business. It means, based on the law of the lead, that once that business leader plateaus there, automatically the fortunes of that business, of that enterprise, with regards to the people there and everything there, plateaus. Not because of the economic situation around, not because of the industry development around, the forces of demand and supply, no, but simply because the leader has stopped growing. The leader has stopped growing. That's what the law of the lead is essentially saying. In other words, your level of knowledge, your competency level, your motivational level, all these, if you don't continue to grow these parameters personally, you have executed a fait accompli on your business, on your venture, on your enterprise, that you can never go beyond, or this business, this enterprise can never grow beyond, say, this local level, because the leader's mentality, the leader's skill set, the leader's capabilities remain restricted. That's what it means. It's simply trying to tell us that no leader can give beyond what they have. So any leader that wants to give more must take off that lead and grow into becoming more. Intellectually, grow into becoming more. Experientially, in the area of expertise, in the area of exposure, in the area of inspiration and motivation, in the area of industry and business awareness. You must continue to expand as a human being. In the area of know-how, how do I lead people? How do I manage the organization? What are the current trends in human behavior? What are the current trends in technology? For instance, any leader today that is not averse, that is not up to date, that is not comfortable and growing, say, in the field of machine learning and artificial intelligence, has already placed a lead on the ability to lead in these times. I run an organization, and I can tell you that I know about AI more than all my staff, including the very young ones who we claim are the ones that are the digital natives. I have to sit with them, educate them, show them. And sometimes they wonder, this is supposed to be an old school fellow, what is happening? But for me as a leader, if I'm going to lead, I must know the way. I must have what? Also gone the way. And then now I show them the way. I mean, you sat in as I showed a copper currently working with us. This is how I want you to do it. Using artificial intelligence. That's leadership. And she will take that and grow with it. So leaders cannot give any excuse. So if you do not unleash yourself, take the lead off, that business will not grow. That idea will stagnate. And once it stagnates, people start peeling away. You no longer have people to lead because people are constantly looking for inspiration, people that they can look up to, look forward to their leadership. And so once you stagnate, human nature takes its toll and people find alternatives that can bring freshness into their lives. It applies in music, in entertainment, it applies in business, it applies in academics, it applies in every facet of human endeavor. Leaders must reinvent themselves as often as possible, as often as possible, as often as possible. Just keep on going and going and going so that there is no lead at all. Yeah. So we shouldn't be talking about any lead.
So it's a
except the ones we impose on ourselves. So there must be continuous and never-ending improvement so that you grow that space and other leaders grow. It starts with you.
Wow. A continuous personal development.
Absolutely.
Wow. All right. Thank you, Mr. Motivator. It's been a wonderful and interesting conversation on the book, Developing the Leader Within You. We are going to go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue with this conversation. We'll be right back.
Do you feel terrified when speaking before a group? Are you stressed when asked to present? Do you bore people when speaking? Are you stuck with reading word for word? How do you give a speech with polish? Learn how at the School of Eloquence,
the home of public speaking. Attend our practical coaching in public speaking. Call 0802-303-2066 or log on to schoolofeloquence.org.
School of Eloquence, teaching the world to speak.
Welcome back. It is still the Achievers Book Club, and I have with me here Mr. Motivator. We are uncovering the book, Developing the Leaders Within You. Okay, Mr. Motivator, Maxwell emphasizes that leaders are perpetual learners.
That's true.
Given the rapid global shifts and the incredible dynamism we are seeing currently, particularly in places like Nigeria, why is this commitment to constant learning a non-negotiable to leaders today? And how do you personally stay in that growth mindset?
Okay, why is this commitment to constant learning non-negotiable? To me, I believe first and foremost, it's non-negotiable because of the ramifications of failed leadership. Anywhere you find a failure in leadership, it is usually very costly. It's expensive. Failed projects, wasted resources, various other negative consequences that reverberate into the future, not just in the near term. For instance, failed leadership in governance that does not recognize the importance of planning, because planning is part of governance, and you expect a leader to be visionary enough to plan. You don't plan, say, for your population to grow. And because there's a lead on your leadership, we've talked about the law of the lead, you can't see beyond the current numbers. A leader has to ask, what if this place grows, the people living in this place grow from 20 to 50? What arrangement should be in place, say, for the water supply? So that failure, if it happens, 50 people occupy that space meant for 20, pressure on the resource, on the infrastructure, it leads to other unintended consequences. It could increase the crime rate, it could increase the mortality rate, there could be a breakout of diseases, all kinds of problems snowballing over something that a good leader ought to have envisaged if they did not have a lead on their leadership capabilities. And so it is the ramifications that makes it imperative for leaders to take leadership seriously. To your question, for me, it is because it becomes very costly. That mistake comes at such a huge cost. And sometimes it could border between life and death situations. The inconvenience, the pain, the agony, be it at work, in business, in countries, in communities. So that is why it's so important, because there could be fallout. In fact, not that there could be. There will always be a fallout, good or bad. So it makes it imperative that leaders continue to remain on the cutting edge of their leadership skills in order to show that they were proactive enough. When the challenge comes, that readiness is there and they are able to deliver. And now to the second aspect of that question. How can leaders, who should be learners, remain or stay in that perpetual growth mindset? What do leaders need to do? I always advocate that leaders be proactive enough to surround themselves with knowing people, or leaders should surround themselves with knowers. When you surround yourself with knowers, for want of a better expression, what that does is that it guarantees a consistent influx of fresh ideas, different perspectives with regards to whatever issues a leader has to grapple with. And that dynamic almost always guarantees that there is growth, because you are not a pond. You don't, I beg your pardon, you don't become a lake that is stuck and then stinks. Yeah. Like a river that flows with freshness, fresh ideas, fresh perspectives. It means that even you, the leader, can be challenged in terms of your own thinking. Someone can come up with a different view as to how to get it done. Remember, as the leader, you are the one showing the way. This is where we're going. But if you are surrounded as a leader with knowers, you can have a preponderance of ideas as to how to get there. How to get there sooner, cheaper, more efficiently. That way, your leadership grows. That way, you too, as the leader, you learn. Keep in mind that the leader is not an almighty figure. The leader is not an all-knowing figure. The leader himself or herself is a student of life, a student in general. And you can learn from even those around you. There is no stipulation that you learn constantly from those that are above you or ahead of you. So how can you retain that growth mindset? Stay humble. Stay humble, because that challenges you to submit yourself to superior knowledge that adds value and continues to lift that lead that John Maxwell talked about. Stay hungry, because that then motivates you. It motivates you to keep on going and to keep on learning and to keep on growing. Stay humble, stay hungry. These are two ways that any good leader can perpetually retain that growth mentality. You are humble because somebody else can be a teacher to you. And so you can orient and adjust. Even the situation that goes bad can teach you. We've seen how circumstances have humbled many people. Rather than react, they took the lessons and they returned to that development, they got it right. And then being hungry motivates them to say there must still be something more, or there must be something we are missing. So that forces them into seminars, attending seminars, conferences, symposiums, being part of critical associations, mastermind alliances, as Napoleon Hill in his book, Think and Grow Rich, we talked about. Surrounded by wise people or wiser people. In that way, you can remain on the cutting edge. And staying hungry means that you can learn, even learning on your own with technology. Those are options as well. And also, respect feedback. There's a popular saying that feedback is the breakfast of champions. Respect feedback. Any leader that discountenances feedback will soon run out of equity. Any leader that discountenances feedback. And we're not just saying, okay, you're giving people the opportunity to air their views. No, you're genuinely paying attention, constructively, intentionally, onboarding it and saying, you know what, let's make some adjustment. This is so instrumental. This is critical. So we could go on and on and on. But I think these two critical principles of staying humble, staying hungry, and with the disposition of welcoming feedback, being a leader, having more knowers around you, shouldn't threaten you. It is only insecure leaders that find it difficult to stand rising stars. You should be secure in your own self as a person, not being secure by virtue of the position. Don't derive your security from the position you occupy. Derive your sense of security from your own sense of self-worth in terms of your uniqueness, your own capabilities and competencies. Let that give you a sane self-estimate of who and what you are, so that others around you who may be different, who may be distinct from you, don't come across as a threat, but rather to complement you. If you have that mindset, then the lead on your leadership is taken off and you continue to grow. That's the growth mindset we're talking about. Because that then challenges you to grow. Growth is not convenient. Growth is not convenient. So with these factors, I think, or rather I believe very strongly, that anyone who is leading, who aspires to lead, can perpetually attain greater heights in leadership. That's how I think you do it, in terms of a growth mindset.
That's interesting. I believe that when you stop, as a leader, when you stop learning, you actually stop leading.
That's right.
Absolutely,
leading. Because you stop growing.
Stop growing.
You can't lead if you're not growing. That's the truth.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr. Motivator, for sharing such inspiring and knowledgeable insights. Thank you so much, Mr. Motivator.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Motivator has given us so much to reflect on. Now, let's make these principles real. Here is your Achievers Challenge for the week, inspired by John C. Maxwell. 1. Identify your influence. This week, observe where you have influence without a formal title. How can you intentionally use that influence for good? 2. Raise your lead. Pick one area where you feel capped. Find one resource, either a book, a course, or a mentor. Start learning and growing in that specific area this week. And 3, develop another leader. Identify one person you can intentionally invest in. Offer them advice, mentorship, or encouragement to help them grow their own leadership potential. Don't forget to share your journey with us using the hashtag Achievers Book Club. Let's grow together, leaders.
Today, we're exploring Developing the Leader Within You by John C. Maxwell. A titan in the field of leadership, Maxwell has dedicated his life to teaching and empowering leaders worldwide. This isn't just a theoretical treatise. It's a practical, accessible guide born from decades of experience, debunking the myth that leadership is an innate talent. Maxwell asserts that leadership is a skill you can learn, practice, and master. At its heart, Developing the Leader Within You introduces a transformative framework, the 5 levels of leadership. Maxwell argues that true leadership isn't about a title, but about your ability to influence and impact others. As each level appears on screen with its icon, it begins at level 1, position, where people follow you because they have to, simply because of your title. But true growth comes at level 2, permission, where people follow you because they want to, built on relationships and trust. Then, at level 3, production, you become a leader because you get results. People follow you because of what you've accomplished. The highest levels are found at level 4, people development, where you grow leaders, not just followers, and people follow you because of what you've done for them. Finally, the ultimate aspiration, level 5, pinnacle, where you are revered for your character and influence, and people follow you out of respect and admiration for who you are and what you represent. Maxwell's philosophy extends beyond these levels, emphasizing crucial leadership qualities like integrity, self-discipline, vision, and the power of empowering others. He champions the idea that everyone has the potential for leadership regardless of their title, and that true leadership is ultimately about service. The beauty of Developing the Leader Within You is its universal applicability. Its wisdom translates across industries, cultures, and roles, whether you're leading a large corporation, a small team, your family, or even just yourself. It provides a roadmap for consistent personal and professional growth. The impact of John C. Maxwell in Developing the Leader Within You is immeasurable. His work has inspired master of leadership development. This book is more than a guide. It's an invitation to embark on a journey of self-discovery and influence, proving that leadership isn't just for the chosen few, it's for anyone willing to grow. This book challenges you to ask, what kind of leader do you want to be? And what steps are you willing to take to get there? If you're ready to amplify your influence, inspire those around you, and truly make a difference, then Developing the Leader Within You is your essential roadmap. It's an invitation to step into your full potential and become the leader you were meant to be. Join us next time on Achievers Book Club, where we continue to explore the books that empower extraordinary lives. Until then, keep leading, keep developing, and keep achieving.
Next week, we confront a silent saboteur that holds many back, an enemy called average, in John L. Mason's incredibly direct and powerful book. You'll discover why settling for mediocrity is a dangerous trap and how to unlock your unique God-given potential. It's a call to action for anyone who believes they are made for more than just getting by. So if you are ready to break free from the ordinary and step into the extraordinary, you absolutely cannot miss our next episode. Thank you for spending this enriching time with us here at Achievers Book Club. Remember, whether it's in your community, your business, or your home, leadership is your capacity to influence for good. Embrace the journey of self-development and lead where you stand. I'm Sarah Undu, and until next time, we see possibilities.
On Wednesday, the 19th of November, 2025, leaders, policymakers, and media professionals gathered in Lagos for the 13th anniversary lecture of Real News Magazine, a platform that has become one of Nigeria's most trusted spaces for national dialogue. This year's theme tackled one of Africa's most threatening challenges: cybersecurity, illicit financial flows, and achieving Agenda 2063. A discussion set against the backdrop of Africa's digital revolution and the growing need to protect the continent's resources from cybercrime and economic leakages.
So cybersecurity sector, it has a lot to do. The fintech also we're doing, also the government, the regulator, the private sector. So it's a win-win thing.
Regulation is the bedrock. It should be the framework. How the operators work should be there first, before the operation.
In her opening remarks, Real News publisher Maureen Chigbo warned that Africa loses tens of billions of dollars every year through illicit financial flows, money that could transform education, infrastructure, and healthcare. Her message was clear: if Africa must achieve the African Union's Agenda 2063, it must first safeguard its wealth.
Real News Magazine is all about investigative, robust, and excellent journalism. We are your partners in development, and together we will build a strong and balanced society where all will be free and happy to live in.
Delivering the keynote address, Dr. Musa Adamu Aliyu, SAN, chairman of the ICPC, emphasized that cybersecurity is no longer just a technology issue, it is a national security priority. He noted that as Africa becomes more digital, cybercriminal networks are expanding just as fast, exploiting weak systems, unregulated platforms, and insider collaboration. He outlined a strategy that includes stronger laws, improved technology, international cooperation, and financial transparency.
Let us understand what is illicit financial flows we are talking about, and in this digital age. Now, illicit financial flows are illegal movements of money or capital from one country to another. The funds could be illegally earned and transferred, or legally earned but illegally transferred. Illicit financial flows remain one of the most devastating drains on Africa's development capacity. Estimates by African Union High-Level Panel, led by former South African President Mr. Thabo Mbeki, suggest that Africa loses over $80 billion annually through illegal tax practices, transfer, pricing, corruption, trafficking, and the outright theft of public resources. This illicit financial flows, I want us to note that it also includes our artifacts, because our heritage are taken out of the continent, or have been taken out of the continents that are in other parts of the world, where those countries are using our heritage to get money.
The panel session deepened the conversation. Experts challenged government agencies and financial institutions to strengthen transparency and internal controls. A notable moment came when a participant demanded that the ICPC publicly name banks allegedly enabling illicit financial flows, a reminder that accountability must go beyond policy and become practice.
Tell us here and now so we can report it, so that we can start from there to fight this corruption, illicit flow of terror financing or whatever. So tell us the banks, name and shame. They do it in Asia, they do it in Europe, they do it elsewhere. Let us do it in Nigeria and in Africa. Thank you very much.
As part of the celebrations, distinguished contributors were inducted into the Real News Hall of Fame, honoring their support, integrity, and commitment to national development. There were lighter moments too, including a warm celebration for one of the discussants, adding joy to an otherwise serious conversation.
Anybody, any human being, any country who is not planning is planning to fail. So, and you don't wait until you are in 2063 to start planning, to start developing, to start corralling all the resources you need to develop. And we know that the continent is bleeding dry because of illicit financial flows. And technology is aiding it greatly and also making it impossible for those involved in this illicit financial flow to be tracked. So we chose this theme to raise awareness and to call attention to governments that they have to step up their action to stem the tide of illicit financial flow. When you have about $50 billion being drained out of the economy of any country, that's a huge sum of money. Of any continent is a huge sum of money. And then when you think, take Nigeria for instance, they have about 10 million children who are out of school, right? Now, can you imagine what such an amount of money could do to the life of these children if those monies or the illicit flows are stopped or the monies are tracked? So you have to plan. If you don't plan, you are planning to fail. That's what just it is. So the earlier we start to plan to curb illicit financial flows, the earlier for everybody involved and for us to achieve the sustainable development goals we have always talked about. So the most important thing is that information is power. When you don't have information that will help you to change your life, you will be wallowing in ignorance. So the cure of ignorance is to arm people with adequate information that can help them to uplift their well-being, achieve their aims, and contribute to nation building. Illicit flows is different from illicit financial flows because it's just not in the public space, it's both in the public and private sector. So we are helping to create awareness. We are helping to let people know that this ill exists in the society and it has to be fought and it has to be stemmed. And for us to achieve the aim we want, all hands has to be on deck. No matter what is happening in the country, integrity is still possible. There are people who could not succeed, but they are forging ahead because of their integrity, because people believe in them. And in the business we are in, the business of the media, integrity is everything. If you don't have integrity, nobody will trust you, nobody will come to your program, nobody will believe you. Once they see your medium, they will just wish it away. So integrity is everything. Achievement means what we have achieved here today now. That's it. We have achieved this. We wanted this hall to be filled up, and you can see that the hall is filled to the brim, not by colorful people, by a galaxy of intellectuals from different walks of life, from different countries, you know. And there are so many people online who are watching and following this event. So we have achieved success here today, and we are indeed grateful to God. I'm here today because of perseverance and hard work. So my life is a testimony to that. So if there is any Gen Z around and you want somebody who you want to emulate, you can read up about my work.
I am Martins Oloja, immediate past managing director and editor-in-chief of the Guardian newspaper. Integrity is possible, but it's still unachievable now because integrity is something that looks abstract to people. And because of the way we do not have ethical revolution that we desired, we do not have ethical reorientation to as part of public policy. It's very difficult, and people who have integrity in this place usually don't have even resources to manage their life. They may not be wealthy with integrity because corruption has become like a fundamental objective and directive principle of state policy. And the people who are prominent, who may not even be significant, are people who do not have integrity. And people who do not have integrity, some sections of the media decorate them with awards from time to time. So integrity is not something that is held here. So integrity is something that is very difficult to define, but it is something that people do when no one is watching. It's a classic definition. Integrity happens most time when no one is watching you. So it's very difficult. It's something that people should hang on their neck wherever they go. But it's very difficult to achieve in this country now because of the operating environment and the way we do not have role model, we do not have a reward for even integrity. We will have reward for people who can do some things that are unethical, and they don't identify them, they don't reward integrity in this country now.
To make ethics and accountability fashionable, we have to celebrate cases of ethics and accountability that takes place across So not just in public sector, in private sector. We have to showcase it. We have to tell those stories. So what is happening now is that the stories that are being showcased and being told are not stories that encourage that. We see people celebrating unethical behavior. And for as long as you keep celebrating unethical behavior, you're not going to encourage ethical behavior. So I think achievement to me would be life of impact shows that you've lived for others and not just yourself. It shows that you have come into spaces and you have changed positively those spaces. So it could be impacting in the youths. And so in my case, it would be working with entrepreneurs. And I can count the achievements by how many entrepreneurs have been affected, how they have changed their systems, how they have improved their processes, and how they're doing much better. Not only from a profit perspective, but even from a planet perspective and the people in which they serve.
Achievement means accomplishment. A man that has achieved, a man that has accomplished. And accomplishment means different things for different people. To me, accomplishment is impact. My own understanding of accomplishment is not a man that built estates, but a man that built human beings. Because if you build human beings, a community of human beings, you have built a nation. The impact, the multiple effect will go around in a manner that you can't even imagine. So achievement for an individual is how much impact you have made. And you don't make impact if you don't grow yourself. So you must grow yourself, develop yourself, advance yourself in the area of knowledge, diverse kinds of knowledge. Because we live in the age where innovation is key. When I was in journalism many years back, we used to sleep in the office to produce a newspaper. Nobody sleeps there because technology has taken over. Stories coming ready, copy ready. So things move on the fly. So you have to also be innovative yourself to keep with that advancement of technology. So achievement is accomplishment. And for me, as a journalist, achievement is the impact I have had on people around me, people I've encountered in life, starting from my family. Because my family is key to me. So my achievement is my family first, advancing my family, the standard of life and living, advancing the education of my children. I don't joke with that. And in the long run, these things will come back to you positively. So if you don't make the sacrifice in the morning of your life, when the evening comes, it will be a lonely heart. And that's not achievement. You have not achieved. Integrity is possible. In fact, people are showing integrity. I was at a WAEC office yesterday. I went to check a result that is very old. They said it's no longer captured not yet captured on digital platform. So I went there to confirm it. And a young man, a gentleman, I won't call him a young man, he took me through the system, through the process, counseled me. I went and did all that I said I should do, including affidavit. Came back, he did everything thoroughly, professionally, ethically. I had to collect his number, and I sent him a message when I got home. And he told me that is just who he is. That in his own little space, he tries to do things the way they should be done. And he's not swayed by the bandwagon of bribery, corruption, and requesting and patronizing people so that he can get something. And I appreciated him. But just that, he said the words meant so much to him. My message to him meant so much. I told him, please, if you can replicate yourself in your office, so everybody begin to behave like you, then the world will be a better place. Nigeria especially. Integrity is scarce in this country, no doubt about that. Integrity is very scarce. We had what happened today. I asked a man, why can't you name them and shame them? He cannot name them and shame them because even in that circle, in the anti-corruption agency, many people are corrupt. The current EFCC chairman said when he resumed, he rebuked his staff. He had a meeting with them and said, some of you are too corrupt. You go out and make deals. That's why they fight against corruption. We can't win it. Because even the system that wants to fight corruption is itself corrupt. So, but integrity is possible. Very, very possible.
Again, on this podium, to thank everybody who has made this day glorious. Starting from God Almighty who created all of us. Without Him, we wouldn't be here at all. We wouldn't even have survived all the It's these things we have been through to witness this day, and we are deeply grateful to her.
The 13th anniversary lecture ended with a renewed call. For Africa to thrive in the digital age, it must protect its financial systems, secure its cyberspace, and build institutions that uphold transparency. For 13 years, Real News has remained steadfast, informing the public, fostering debate, and shaping national consciousness.
My name is Ken Ubeche. I'm a journalist, author, writer, public speaker, everything rolled into one. I'm giving a shout out to Achievement Channels, the motivational channel. Please stay hooked to Achievement Channel. Thank you.
Achievement Channel.
Martins Oloja of The Guardian fame. And I want to shout out to Achievement and Motivational Channel that you should continue to do what you are doing, because achievement is really very, very important to motivate people, to celebrate achievement, to celebrate integrity, to celebrate what is good for us that will make us a great nation. Thank you.
From Dr. Neko Kekaru, live Lagos, Pan Atlantic University. Shout out to Achievement Channel. If you're not watching Achievement Channel, I wonder what else you're doing with your time. This is the channel to watch.
A new day dawns, full of possibilities. Take the first step towards your dreams. Empower your mind with positive thoughts. Achieve more. Make a difference in someone's life today. Impossibility is nothing.
Success is not just about what you do, but how you show up. Your style speaks before you do. Style is confidence, and confidence drives success. From the boardroom to the runway, your presence matters. Welcome to Style to Success, where fashion meets ambition. Your journey to success starts with confidence. This is Style to Success, only on the Achievement Channel. Follow us at Achievement Channel for more style and success insights.
Welcome to Style to Success on Achievement Channel, the show that brings you face to face with remarkable individuals whose journeys inspire and empowers all. We are reaching you from our studio at the School of Eloquence, Lagos, Nigeria. I am Ayodele Oluwole, and today we are diving deep into the world of maritime media, a field that often goes unnoticed but plays a crucial role in our global economy. Our guest today is a true trailblazer in this field. She is a seasoned fashion stylist and a champion for youth empowerment, the founder of Marigold Fashion House and a host of other impactful initiatives. With her unwavering dedication and innovative spirit, she has not only shaped the landscape of maritime reporting, but also contributed immensely to the growth and development of the maritime sector in Nigeria. Mrs. Susan Eshet, we are honored to have you with us today. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you
so much, man. Thanks for making our time to come. We actually love your outfits. I like to say that. And you know, I think it's one of the things that, you know, this program entails. You know, it's Style to Success, and we love, you know, the fact that you're rocking our African prints. So I would want to start by asking you a question, ma. What does style mean to you?
Well, thank you so much once again. I'm talking about my style, and you made mention of the wearing of Ankara. I took that decision some 7 years ago, thereabout, that no more Western suits, no more, you know, ties and all those things. It's going to be African wear. And I got inspiration from Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, you know, when she became Minister of Economic, and she was always wearing Ankara. And one of those days I had a meeting with her in her office, and I just said, this is this woman's style. Style could be anything to anybody. It could be what you are as a professional. It could be what you are as a person. Your style determines who you are, determines what you come up with, what you become at the end of your journey on earth. People will remember you for what kind of style you had. If you're simple, if you're robust, if you're elaborate. So to me, my style is me. Because now people see me as, oh, she only wears Ankara. If you see me with something else, it means it's a tight situation. But once I walk into a room like this, I feel proud to be an African and an African woman.
Wow, it feels good to hear this actually. I love the fact that you're promoting our culture through fashion, because we're trying to project what we represent as Africans to the rest of the world. So wearing our own, locally made, fabric is a very good one. So that's quite impressive. And I'd like to say, Ma, how does, style, inspire success for you?
Like I said, it's Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala that, inspired that in me. And I said, if she, at her level, could have confidence and wear just African clothing, then why not me? And the first time I walked into the office on a Monday and I was wearing this, it was like, everybody was like, what is she doing? But to answer your question, it shows how confident you can be as a person and as a professional. That's what it brings out in me, the confidence. If you can wear this for an event, then that means you have a lot of confidence.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So good to hear that from you, So I'd like to say, Mrs. Susan, how do you come about your fabric? Where do you shop for them? How accessible are these fabrics? Because I need to be sincere, I love African prints. And when I see people rocking African prints, there is an impression I get from it. I just feel good saying that. So I just like to say how accessible that's for people who would love to look like you, who would want their style, who wants to rock the African prints, who wants to wear our own thing. How accessible has it been for you getting these fabrics, and how easy has it been getting stylists that can put them together and project a very good image of it?
That's a very good question, and it also comes with our country, Nigeria. We used to have a very vibrant textile industry, but all of a sudden, all that wilted away. So a lot of these fabrics are imported, which is very sad. I wish something could be done about that so that we can go back to what we used to make and what we're wearing. They're very accessible, but now with the inflation and the economic situation is quite pricey. But it's something that I love, and so I'll go out of my way to get it. And then there is no fashion designer or tailor that cannot make all this. They're all over the place. You go to the market, Balogun market, they'll give you different types. They're the low price ones, the middle price ones, and the high price ones. And so the high price ones are the ones that are produced in Holland, the Hollandish stuff. Those ones are quite high prices, and they last, they don't fade. Then you have the middle price ones and the low price ones. So it depends on who you are, style coming in, the kind of person you are, your character, your projection of yourself, and your profession. So if you decide to pick the low price one, but you make something out of it, it's still the same thing. And so it's quite accessible, but my appeal will be that the government should look at our textile industry and see how we can start all over again and get the textile industry working, because all these things are brought in from Ghana, from Cote d'Ivoire, from Holland. Not much is made in Nigeria anymore.
True, I agree with you to an extent, man. But I just want to quickly chip something in that, we still have some people that still do, local production of some of these African prints, especially the Ashoke, the Adire, yes. Which the prints are actually beautiful as well. They're as beautiful as Ankara, but
it cannot be mass produced.
True. True.
You have to do some mass production to get things like this.
Okay.
So that's why I'm still making that appeal that the federal government or state government should do something about the textile industry.
Yeah, I was going to say that,
Yes,
because I feel we actually need to try to rejuvenate those industries so that it will help the economy as well. Apart from helping the GDP of the nation, it's going to create more employment, and people will gravitate towards wearing our own thing. So our local content will be promoted that way.
Well
it's a
said.
good one. It's
Well
a good
said.
one. Well done, man. And
Thank you
it's
so
nice
much.
to have you on the show.
Thank you
and
very
we'll
much.
take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Your journey to success starts with confidence. This is Style to Success, only on the Achievement Channel.
Are you in governance?
You need public speaking.
Are you in business?
You need public speaking.
Are you a professional?
You need public speaking.
Now you too can learn how to overcome nervousness and speak with confidence before any audience at the School of Eloquence, the home of public speaking.
Attend our practical and training one-on-one coaching with West Africa's only certified speaking professional at any of our centers in Lagos and Abuja.
To register, call 0802 3032 066 or 0706 1606 078, or log on to our website schoolofeloquence.org. School of Eloquence,
Teaching the world to speak.
Your journey to success starts with confidence. This is Style to Success, only on the Achievement Channel.
So welcome back, and we're still on the show Style to Success on the Achievement Channel. We still have our maybe guest on the show, Mrs. Susan. I have been having some questions and some good time with Mrs. Susan on the show, and she's been sharing insightful ideas about how she has really been inspired in terms of fashion and style. So we're back to the show. Mrs. Susan, I hope you're fine, ma, and I hope you're enjoying the show. Mrs. Susan, I'd like to ask, what are some of your proudest accomplishments in this game?
Proudest accomplishment as a woman working in an industry that is really men-oriented, and so you are able to prove yourself, not trying to prove yourself to be better than the men, no, trying to prove yourself to be able to come up with ideas, strategies, plans, and do as much as what the industry wanted to do. I mean, being in the oil and gas industry, it was quite challenging, trying to do things, go offshore, climb up baskets, do this, do that. But, as a woman, you are able to do all those things. So I'm proud of myself that we were able to come out fine, and we were able to do most of the things that our male counterparts will do.
That's a good one. Impressive. And one last question, I'd like to ask that, what advice would you give someone who wants to become a stylist? Talking about, becoming a stylist in a clime like Nigeria.
Oh, like the program says, Style to Success. Like I said before, I picked my inspiration from meeting Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, and I mean, the difference between her, I mean, she had long skirts, while I prefer the shorter ones. And there she was as a minister of the finance, and then for the coordinating economy. And she was always in meetings, going from one place to another, and still in her long, skirts with Ankara and her turban. So, and I was like, if she could do this, and even do it at the World Bank level, where she was having meetings and all that, then why not do it in Nigeria? So there's nothing you cannot achieve, whether you're wearing Ankara, or you're wearing Ashoke, or you're wearing Akwete, or you're wearing, whatever native, clothing we have. Your style is your style, and it's what you make out of it. And that's what you become. I mean, like what you're also wearing. I mean, before you could see male folks were always in suits, but now I see a lot of guys also dressing down, wearing this, and it's as comfortable as what you could wish for. So your style is your style, and whatever you make out of it is what comes out of it.
Wow, that's a good one. And I have to make a brief comment that, like, what I'm wearing, we are now getting used to it. It's becoming, part of us. There are companies now where they wear, you know, tribes like this to work on a regular basis. They don't even wear suit and tie and all. So it's becoming a part of a culture. And apart from that, we're exporting that culture to other parts of the world, because there are countries, there are some countries now, they allow this to be, you know, wait on some days to work. And
that's style to success.
Exactly. So we are getting there.
Yes.
So it's a good one. So I'd like to ask you the last question on this show, and that would be, what are the most important lessons that you learned along, you know, this business?
It's your comfort level, your confidence. You must do things that you're confident with, or you have confidence, and you must do things that you're comfortable with. So for me, making up my mind to drop the jackets and the shirts was just a step, and then making up my mind to wear this African wear and walking into the office that Monday morning, and everybody was like, whew, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry, this is my style now, this is me now. You know, that's the confidence level you have.
And I'm sure that must have, you know, created a lot of impact, you know, in your immediate environment.
Because suddenly, some of my colleagues were also changing. You know, you go for business meetings and you're like, everybody's like, you're coming for a business plan. I said, well, that's why I have short skirts and top jackets, to make it more business-like, instead of looking like somebody going to church or going for a party or whatever. So it's more business-like. And really, for me, it was like, the most important thing is having that confidence to say, it is what I am. And what I am is that I'm a professional and I'm an achiever.
Wow, that's a good one. Thank you so much, Mrs. Susan. It's really been a pleasure having you on the show. And I must confess, I've learned one or two things from you. This is such an impactful interview. Thank you so much, and we appreciate you coming. To our viewers, we hope you are motivated to explore the vast opportunities within the fashion industry and to make your own mark, just like Mrs. Susan. I am Ayodele Oluwole, and this has been Style to Success on the Achievement Channel. Until next time, stay inspired.
People's saying holds a powerful truth. Just as farmers seize the sunny days to harvest hay for the future, we too must seize opportunities when they present themselves. So, here are 3 key insights to help you maximize the inspiration embedded within the depths of this age-old wisdom. First is about seizing opportunities. Opportunities often come fleetingly, much like the sun breaking through the clouds. It's not enough to recognize them, we must act swiftly and decisively, whether it is with starting a new business or pursuing a passion or seizing a career opportunity. The time to act is now. Entrepreneurs or leaders who saw a gap in the market and acted swiftly. They didn't just wait for perfect conditions. If anything at all, they created their own opportunities by simply making hay while the sun was shining. The second insight is about preparation and readiness. We must understand that making hay while the sun shines isn't just about seizing opportunities. It is also about preparations. Farmers prepare well in advance. How? By planting, nurturing, and even harvesting when the time is right. Similarly, we must prepare ourselves mentally, emotionally, skillfully, if we are ever to make the most of every opportunity that comes our way. Preparation breeds readiness. When you're prepared, you're confident and capable of taking action when the opportunity arises. It's always about aligning your skills, your knowledge, your mindset, your attitude to maximize your chances of This is Mr. Motivator signing off from Timeless Capsule right here on the Achievement.
Welcome to Achievement, the show that speaks to men striving for more. Broadcasting from the School of Eloquence in Ikoyi, Lagos, on Nigeria's first and only 100% motivational TV station, the Achievement Channel. I am your host, Martins Oloye. Today's episode is The Burden of Silence, Why Men Don't Share Their Struggles. Joining me to discuss and do justice to this topic are accomplished gentlemen, Victor Diali, managerial psychologist, leadership expert, and certified coach with over 26 years experience, trusted by global organizations to build better leaders, and Akin Opatola, a trailblazing real estate professional, president of FAIRBC Nigeria, and mentor who's shaping future of real estate across Africa. Together, they will help us to unpack the cultural, emotional, and personal weights men carry, and how we can create safe spaces for real conversations. This is Achievement, not just inspiration, but blueprints for action. You've been watching Achievement with Martins Oloye right here on the Achievement Channel. Today, we are discussing something quite touching, something that we don't talk about because we all believe that the male child is strong, especially in this part of Africa. And our topic is talking about why men don't share their struggles. Gentlemen, welcome to this very, very emotional part of our episodes. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So why I started with saying it's the emotional part is big boys don't cry. Is that what they say? Men don't cry.
Yeah.
And from your faces alone, you've grown up. I can see you're strong. But we all know to whom much is given, much is expected. The same bandwidth works for emotional, you know, I don't want to call it luggage that people carry, but it's deep. It's a lot. And I'll say thank you for what you've been doing so far in your respective fields. You are doing a wonderful job. So, I'll go straight to the point because it's going to evolve as we go on. I'll start with you, Victor. They say men should not complain. And your name is Victorious Victor. I think I'll call you that. He's a popular coach for that.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
why are you called that? Let's even...
Well, so it's an interesting story, and thank you for having me. It's really an honor to be on this set. So Victorious Victor, it happened in November. It happened in November. It was on the 22nd in 2009, and it's quite interesting because I was driving to church with my family, and some armed robbers accosted us, carjacked us, took over the car, put us in the back seat, had a gun on my wife's neck. Top speed, they pushed my wife out and kept driving with us and drove us to a bush, and it was my nephew and I. They asked me to jump into the bush. I jumped with all of my strength, and the next thing I heard was, "Pow!" They shot me in the back. Left side of my back, bullet came out, left side of my chest. And, lying down there in the pool of my own blood, in fact, I thought I was dead. I thought the next thing I would see would be bright lights and angels singing "Welcome Home," I didn't see any bright lights. I didn't see any angels. What I saw was pure water nylon. That's when I knew this must be Nigeria. I'm still here. And, I was really shocked that I was alive. I had another chance to live. And so while I was there, I began to think about it, that wow, I'm still alive, I'm not dead, and I've not yet fulfilled my purpose in life. I cannot die now. It's not yet time. And so I felt that I had a reason to live. And so that gave me strength. I pulled myself up. And then I managed to get to the road. It was an expressway. Now I realized it was Abeokuta Expressway. I stood in the middle of the road and nobody was willing to help. Some cars would drive close to me, slow down, take a good look at me from head to toe. They see the blood gushing from my chest, my nose, my mouth. They'll change their gear and zoom off. It was a Sunday morning, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. They were rushing to church because I saw big Bibles on the dashboards. And I just felt life going out of me. But somehow I knew I had about 5 minutes to live. And I just kept saying to myself, someone will stop. Someone will stop. Someone will help me. It's not yet time. Someone will help me. And true to my word, someone stopped. It was a rickety bus. The guy helped me, took me to a hospital, and that's how I survived. And so since then, I started thinking, when I got to the hospital, they moved me to Reddington Specialist Hospital. While recuperating, I was just thinking, so maybe this is why my parents named me Victor, right? Because I was just victorious over death. Death was staring me in the face, and I got victorious over death. So I said, from today on, I'm Victorious Victor.
That's a... I said it was going to be emotional, touching, but that's a really, really good start.
And then, to confirm it again, I realized that, I got married. In fact, yesterday was my 25th wedding anniversary. Okay. And I realized that when we got married, we expected in 9 months we'll have a child. 1 year passed, 2 years passed, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We waited 18 years. And now we have 3 children.
Okay. So it really makes me realize I'm truly victorious, so I'm Victorious Victor.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in at once, even for our wonderful viewers. We're going to start taking it piecemeal.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful way to start. And that has put us on the pedestal on how this episode of this show would go.
True.
And we're trying to actually look at what it means to be a man in this part of the world. So I will let you start so that you can take, just briefly, so we can enjoy everything we're doing. Why do we believe that men, the cultural part of this world, why do we believe that men don't complain?
So in psychology, there's something called conditioning, right? I think that's a major part of it. We've been conditioned like that. It's not like that's how it's supposed to be, right? Because male and female, though different in some ways, different in some ways, but we are all humans, right? We all have a heart. Inside the heart, there's a small part of the heart called the amygdala. The amygdala is the headquarters of emotion. Women have it, men have it, right? There's an emotional brain. Sorry, I meant brain, not heart. There's an emotional brain. The amygdala in the brain is that part of the brain that manages our emotions, Women have it, men have it. So what really makes us different in terms of emotions, right? But somehow, our world, our culture, our tradition has conditioned us that men should not complain. Men should not cry. Men should go out and struggle and come back. And when you face challenges, you should, not complain. Face it headlong and succeed with it, and then come home with the spoils. And so that conditioning is the problem. So when there's a challenge, a boy falls and starts to cry, we say, no, don't cry. Don't you know you're a boy? You're a boy now. And so that conditioning, and remember, whatever we've been conditioned with from childhood, we take into adulthood. It's extremely difficult to break.
You mentioned, and quite right, frankly, that conditioning is there.
Yeah.
To you now, a bit of my background. I grew up in literally in the barracks. So my friends, my mates, my colleagues, it's difficult for me not to, if I'm not calling Colonel, I'm calling this, so just that's our way of life. So I literally had guns in classrooms. So I see it every day, we have the parade every day, and it is a man thing to be, you chin up, you be hard, So what do you think? Why is it so? Because it's there, we all know, even right at this age and time. I go beat you, am I picking? It's from Delta, so you understand that part. So why is this so, and is this something that you think should continue?
Okay, so for me, I think it shouldn't continue. I think it's not proper. Every man should show emotions once in a while and let loose. That's on one hand. I think it is also condition of the mind. Over time, culturally, it has always played that narrative. For me, I've been fortunate. My background is not like yours, that is a bit hardened. Is it? So I was opportune. My dad was a retired ambassador, so we've always lived we spent 3 years in one country, 3 years back in Nigeria. So I had the opportunity to do primary school, and it's opportunity and not an opportunity, because I spent primary school in 2 different countries. And in those countries, you know how it is. Men are allowed to, young boys, you can cry. So that was the way myself and my senior brother were brought up. Yes, we've had to condition ourselves again when we come back to Nigeria. We did part of our primary school here, and we noticed that, well, this is how I cry, you get a CBO and things like that. Then we had to man up again until we travel back again. Culturally, those countries again, they say, look, there's nothing wrong. Cry, clean your tears. Hit the road back again. So I see I have some friends now that even when I find that balance, because yes, I know that men should be strong, but of course, you should have your quiet time
be able to break down, speak to people, share your thoughts, open up emotionally. People say that can be a bit feminine. I'm like that. I get laughed at, but hey, I guess that's the way I modeled.
Before I give you the next question, I have, okay, we lost some, God rest their souls. Even soldiers, they cry, but we can't say it publicly. So I think that should set the stage. So it's okay to feel the weight. We're all emotional beings. So in some cases, they channel it to say morale high, morale not high. We just need somewhere to channel our, I don't want to use the word grievances, but the emotional, bandwidths. And now these days, people are no longer looking at intelligence quotient again. They want emotional quotient, IQ, EQ, because you can be smart and destroy everything. You can be very intelligent and your IQ is high up there and you still don't know how to manage people and you mess up a lot of things. And this is something that has shown in the larger society. I'm asking this, I'm putting this forward. I would like to take it because from your profile, you speak a lot to people, you encourage them, you speak to them, you've raised a lot of people, especially young boys. What are the dangers? I'll give you the sequel question, but I'll ask you first, Victor. What are the dangers of suppressing and bottling up emotions? Take it from the angle of young and old people. When I say old, people like us that now have children that very soon they'll start knocking on our doors to say, Oga, come and marry, pay dowry. So how do you balance it? Because life will bring you everything. You lose friends, you lose people, you lose businesses, you lose trust in people that you are relying on. And as a man, that's pretty difficult. And I'm happy he was swinging from cry, don't cry, don't cry. So he knows he has a balance. So for you now, Nigerian perspective properly from your experience.
So from the Nigerian perspective,
why is it dangerous to suppress it?
It's quite challenging, right? So like you said, that conditioning needs to be broken. Okay, we need to find a way to resolve that, because life is not really like that. That's not a true reflection of life, because in life we will face challenges, we will face problems, and we need to be able to express our emotions, because if we don't express our emotions, we become depressed. Okay, so as young people, we need to let them know it's okay. It's okay to show your emotions. It's okay to cry. It's okay to ask for help. Vulnerability is not a lack of strength. It's not a lack of strength. It's okay to show your vulnerability. But then we help people understand that even though it's okay to share your vulnerabilities, it's also important to manage your vulnerabilities. So for example, there are certain places you may not show those emotions openly. You may go somewhere else, you may go into a quiet corner, you may wait for a while, and you can manage those emotions. But what is important is that you express them. And it has a lot of implications. One of them being health implications. Because the more you bottle up emotions, the more you raise your stress levels. And we all know that there are hormones that get released into the body, into the blood, when you're highly stressed, cortisol, and that hardens the arteries. I'm not a medical doctor, but I think this is common knowledge. And as we grow older, there's certain things we experience in our middle age and in our old age. They start from when we were young. These things begin to build up and we don't know. So it's important for us to help young people understand that these things have grave implications, not just health-wise, even for our relationships. When you hear about husband killing wife or wife killing husband, sometimes it's because there are bottled up emotions. There are issues that have not been discussed. And then in the middle of the night, someone takes a knife and stabs the other.
You've moved on to the next question. We're quickly going to go on break. We're going to get to that part because it's something that is very, very critical, which I would love us to discuss. There's a song by Birdie on America Got Talent, I think. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. The girl had cancer. Original song. You can look it up on YouTube. I think you should. Well, there will always be problems, and our grace to carry it to the end mattered. So, in other perspectives, especially the office space and friendship, not relationship, now friendship, how dangerous is it to suppress your emotional luggage?
So I think it's extremely dangerous and it's very risky. There are a lot of conversations now, especially with a certain demographic, the Gen Zs in the workplace, with mental health and depression issues. You see staff members come in, work fantastically well this week, then the following week, due to one or two traumas or bottled up emotions, whether male or female, then all of a sudden they let loose in the office, which can be tough. Before now, we couldn't put a finger on it. It's now that those conversations, and it's a topical conversation. Oh, it's mental stress. Oh, take a few days. Human resources can understand. But imagine back in the days, they'll say, is this person mentally okay? Are you sure this person is fit for work? If you'd also notice that there's a prevalence of gyms and people even of our demographic and lower doing a lot of exercises, what I found out that it is also a way of releasing stress and depression. So there are a lot of fitness centers out there. A lot of people go there. In fact, that's a whole new industry. Yeah. They are gymming their way out of issues, anxiety, problems. And I like the fact that you also touched on it. To me, I may be wrong, but even serial killers, back in the days when you watch some of these movies, they've told the male child, oh boy, don't cry, they don't do this. And he's seeing, he's bottling up. He's seeing his parents' abusive relationship. He's bringing it. There's no psychologist, there's nobody, no church member, no senior brother or colleague to be able to unveil and share those things. He's bottling it up. Pressure has to come out one way or the other. It's tough.
We'll go on a break, but pressure, like that popular guy said, pressure to wow. Yo, baby, pressure to wow. So we need to find a way to not bottle it up. And as we go on this break, remember, it is not okay not to express. So you can do gym and do everything. When we come back, I'll talk to you about how 40-something-year-olds like us are still trying to be gymming without going to the gym. See you on the other side.
Eloquence focuses attention on the message and the audience.
I found it very interesting, exciting, stimulating.
It was very beneficial.
Definitely would learn a lot, a whole lot. Thank you. The delivery was second to none.
Speak with power.
Speak with power.
Speak with power.
Welcome back, welcome back. So let me just chip in. Go to the gym without being in the gym. So what I do, or what some of my friends do, is you do your squats, use your body weight for squats. Don't do too much. Some of us, our cardio cannot take it. Your heart is, there's so much fat, you can't do it. At your pace. 40, 40, 40. 40 push-ups, 40 squats, 40 jumping jacks, whatever you want to do, take it at your pace. But one of the things you must do is carrying weight, which is your body weight. Then you can now gravitate towards the gym. I'll tell you the secrets when we finish this show. But let's just continue. So, how you started this, and I mentioned that we need to continue. Bottling up, how does it affect the relationship? On the home front now, you will talk about the office, but on the home front, that bottling up, just how does it affect?
So it affects relationships in lots of ways. There's something really special that God has given us, and that's relationship. We were created as relational humans. You know, even in the Holy Book, God came down to fellowship with man, and that's when man was running around, you know, saying that he was naked. And so this is the thing: we were created to have relationships, and one of the lifebloods of relationship is communication. Without communication, relationship is dead, right? And so when we bottle up our emotions, when we bottle up our fears, what that does is communicate, and we don't know we're communicating something negative. So when we bottle up our emotions, the other partner feels that, oh, he doesn't trust me enough with his emotions, or she doesn't trust me enough with her emotions. So it's really important for us to learn to communicate our feelings, our emotions, rather than bottle them up. Because if we don't share them, it will destroy the relationship.
If you share with your wife and your wife is laughing at you,
but that, and
what do you now do?
Before we do go on to that, there's one problem we have as men. One major challenge we have as men. And if you're watching, you've got to really go and learn about this. Men typically don't have the vocabulary to share emotions. When we share emotions, we use words that make us feel that we are failing. We are not showing up as men. We don't have the vocabulary to share. So we've got to go back and learn the vocabulary, how to share our feelings, rather than take it out on someone. So rather than share our feelings, talk about, oh, this is how this makes me feel, right? I feel anxious at this time. Rather, we find a way to still look masculine and strong without the vulnerability that comes with it. So we don't use the right vocabulary, and that's a problem. So we've really got to go back and learn, and in that way reprogram ourselves. Just like for you to really speak good English, you've got to go and learn eloquence, and that's why you come to the School of Eloquence.
Do you feel terrified when speaking before a group? Are you stressed when asked to present? Do you bore people when speaking? Are you stuck with reading word for word? How do you give a speech with polish? Learn how at the School of Eloquence,
the home of public speaking. Attend our practical coaching in public speaking. Call 0802 303 2066 or log on to schoolofeloquence.org.
School of Eloquence, teaching the world to speak.
Because you can speak, yes, you can have conversations, but you've got to learn the vocabulary and what it takes to speak in a way that touches people, that makes impact, and that creates power. So the danger is that your relationship dies, and when your relationships die, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to succeed alone, right? Like I said, we were created relational human beings. And then we've talked about the medical side of things, right? As we bottle up our emotions and our feelings, there's a tendency for us to develop other, medical issues that would take us to the hospital and probably death.
Well, the ultimate, of course, of life is death. So bottling up can actually kill.
It can kill you.
So for the office space.
So for the office space, it's quite a challenge. For me as MD CEO, I've learned to become an emotional manager So what we try to do is when we have team meetings, we don't just delve into the business of the day. So what's your target? Have you met it? What have you done? What new business have you brought to the office? We have 5 days to the end of the month. Who is bringing us money? Things like that. We just try. So I've learned that also, that, hey, okay, you guys, who has anything nice to celebrate? Did anything interesting happen over the weekend? So that any good news? Oh, you lost your aunt. Oh, sorry, was she dear to you? So sometimes it's even tough for me because I'm like, Hakim, you're paying salary on Friday, which concern me with one auntie, but you just have to try. Then they begin to come out. I'm like, so this thing I read in this book, so this thing I watch in this movie, so it's true. Then they begin to come out. Nobody has asked them. They are coming up with stiff pressures from the house, and it's tough. And one of our core values is teamwork. When I finish my team meeting, they go out, they need to work together for that collaboration and participation. Then to me, I've noticed that when I'm in a good mood, I've shared with my wife, I'm happy, that's when I can be given 1 or 2 bonuses. Okay, let's increase salary next month. But when I'm stressed, I've bottled up, I've not shared, there's one burden that I've brought to the office, even me too, I'm shouting at them. Who wrote this report? Rubbish, this is the way I taught you. Get out from here. And they're wondering, Then the thing begins to trickle down. Which kind of guy be this? Must you shout? Can't you guide us? Then me too, and now start regretting. This guy just resumed with us 2 months ago. I've not really carried him along. Then the whole thing just trickles down negatively, then I feel bad. I've also noticed that my staff members are like my family. I spend more time. I get to the office 7 a.m. I don't leave until 5:36. When I get home, I eat, watch TV, sleep off. Early in the morning, 3rd Mainland Bridge traffic. So I spend more time with you people. So you people are my family. So I need to know what happens to you guys. What are the good news we need to celebrate? So that even if they don't have ways to ease off pressure, create one and a safe space.
Wow. Excellent take, both of you. It is, when you are going, you pick speed, gear 1. And these days we now have gear 7. You know what I mean? And for those of you that love auto, get on the autobahn. No, nothing is stopping you. So 2 things we are going to take now from your takes, and I'll start from you. But I'll let you say it first, then we're going to talk about safe spaces. Yeah. You mentioned family. I'm coming back to you for family. Victorious Victor. I noticed that the way leadership and who the person that is leading is reflects directly on the children. Yeah. It mirrors, directly. Stockholm syndrome or whatever you want to call it, whether the good way or the bad way. The same thing applies to men. Today we're not talking about fatherhood and parenting. We're talking about men. Beer parlor in this part of the world. Yeah. In other places, lounges, men's group, polo club, country club, golf club are ways to ease out. So it means that the avenue to talk is important for men. Sure. Like what we're doing. Yeah. So how do you think we can create more safe spaces for men that we talk? Because when alcohol is in the body or you are watching football and people talk and you'll be wondering, now this is not with this. And you can't put the two together. They're like 2 strange people. Yeah. So how do we create those safe spaces and for men to know that, look, speak, be a baby, be yourself again. Yeah. Say the way it is. From your perspective, take your time.
So here's the thing. When we bottle up our emotions and our feelings, we tend to increase our stress levels, right? When stress increases in the body, we usually would develop a coping mechanism. This is natural. We find a way to cope with the stress, okay? And what we tend to do as men to cope with the stress is, like you said, turn to alcohol. Because while you're drinking the alcohol, it sort of deadens your pain at that time. And alcohol is dangerous. But please remember that pain it deadened. It was only sleeping. When you finish the alcohol, when the thing clears from your eye, it's waiting for you. You go and carry it again. So it's not really a solution. And alcohol, like you said, is dangerous. Alcohol kills more people than weed, for example. Right? So this is the thing. So we tend to turn to habits or mechanisms that are not healthy for us. So we need to find a way, like you said, to create safe ways of expressing our emotions. And, like when we are in a beer parlor or a bar or something, people talk, right? But watch what they talk about. Most of the time, they don't talk about their deepest pains. They don't talk about their struggles. They talk about football. They talk about women. They talk about, all of those things. And all those things are surface things. The real issues, when a man, for example, is facing impotence, for example, and it's weighing down on him. That's not ephemeral. Please, who's going to talk? Who's going to tell his friend that, look, oh boy, they stand again, So we need to understand that it's okay to discuss these things. So we need to now promote things like, men's clubs. There are programs on TV, on radio that usually a men's roundtable. You hear about women's roundtable. You hear about all women always have one event or the other, to go to. But how many do men have? So we need to encourage the society, encourage people to come up with events that men can go to and have conversations, even in church. For example, during Christmas, right? There are bags of rice for widows. There's nothing for widowers. Almost nothing. I don't hear of any program by organizations, by churches, religious organizations. I don't hear anything about widowers. But sometimes you have a man who's lost his wife and he's catering for 5 children. Has to go to work, has to make money, he has to make food for them. So many challenges, and there's nobody to turn to. When he goes to someone, they say, but you're a man. Now, this is what makes you a man. So we need to create those safe spaces. In other countries, there would be parks. And just walking around the park, you can have conversations, right? You can have conversations. But when Governor Fashola was starting to bring back the green spaces and the parks and all of those things, people were saying, now flower we go chop. But now flower we go chop.
Those are the things that make every community different. Parks, you can, in fact, you can't do 30 minutes walk in some places. You can. It's vivid, I can picture it. You can't do in some places I not see a good park. Now, for this same question, you are raising very valid points. Of course, for want of, there are so many limiting things like time also.
Yes, of course.
There's something you just raised. Widowers. I flip it. Most leaders in the world right now, women representation is poor. Before you start saying I'm feminist too, I'm feminist at the same time. But the truth is, so because the representation for now is so poor, the people leading us, even in Nigeria, are mostly men. These same men that were not taken care of mentally are the ones leading. And you are wondering why the country or most of the world is running like this. So, to the suit and tie people, because that's what you are today now, why is creating these safe spaces very key? Because we are building men. What we are saying is end product. You are a result of all the things that you have imbibed, the books you've read, the people you've gone through, the people that have gone through you've gone through. Yeah. So why is it important to create these safe spaces? Because you spend most time at work. So it means that your life is actually work, quote and unquote, to say. So why is it important to create good men, great places, spaces in the workspace?
Okay, so I think it's extremely critical And you touched on it. So in our respective places, we're seen as leaders. And as a leader, you should be able to have that balance. People are looking up to you as a mentor, and those your mentees, when you see them struggling. And there's nothing wrong in raising up your hand and say, hey, I'm struggling. But you see, they may not know. And this is where the coaching and the guidance comes in. So if you perceive one or two things, you can say, hey, John, please come. Is everything okay? I may not be okay financially, but let me hear your problems. Because I see the flip side of it. If I go and ask John now money, even me too, I'm struggling. But you can still, sometimes it might not be financial. So you can reach out to them, find out what the challenges are. To me, I feel, and you see, the world is changing. Back in the days, we had only 2 genders, male and female. Now we have close to 76. To me, I also feel it is a part of the mental struggles that people are going through. To marry another female, to date another female, it's not for me. I want to date somebody of the other sex. Or me, this is the way God created me, but I think I want to move to something else. And it's going to get more, it's going to also get worse. So we need to also understand that. But you see, these are real struggles. People need to be able to call people out. And I see where you can have close friends, senior colleagues. Some people even find it in where they worship, whether in mosque or in churches, where you can lean on somebody and say, hey, this is the challenge I am having in terms of stress. I had a friend, let me just share this real quick. His own struggle was he's closer to 35. He has never dated anybody before. He doesn't know how to go about it. He's worried. He thought he would have even gotten married by now. And he said, look, this is his own big challenge. So if he had a senior, doesn't have a senior brother, he doesn't have any guidance, so to speak, somebody that can just put him through, mentor him. So we can look back and say, small thing like this, I've dated several people, but that's his own problem. And I'm happy that he can. I'm happy that he could share. So imagine him meeting the right person. I say, this is something I can just easily guide you through a couple of lessons, and you will now become somebody that is stronger, have confidence to approach ladies, and it's a minor thing. So that will be it for me.
As usual, we want to spend so much time with you. I know you've picked one or two things, but this is my parting shots. Life is like swimming. When you're tired, ask for help, or you will drown. But before you drown, you will sink. That sinking is what you should not do. Raise your hand, ask for help, and everything will be fine. Thank you so much for this wonderful episode.
Thank you for having me.
I'm sure people will request for more. This is nice. Special thanks to our guests, Victor Diali and Akin, for sharing insights that challenge and inspire. Remember, being a man is more than titles or expectations. It is about resilience, purpose, and lifting others as you rise. Let's continue this important conversation. Follow Achievement Channel on Instagram, on Facebook, on X, Twitter, and YouTube for more Achievement program and updates. Use the hashtag We See Possibilities and share your thoughts with us. Until next time, keep striving, keep growing, and keep achieving.
Hi, my name is Olufemi Shey. I'm CEO of Casafina Development. I'd like to tell you this. Keep watching Achievement Channel.
Hello, my name is Roma Daniels. This is Achievement Channel. Please keep watching Achievement Channel, the first and only motivational channel in the country. Thanks, man.
Good day and welcome to Achievement News, right on the Achievement Channel, Nigeria's first 100% motivational television. My name is Comfort Idongise Basi, your guide through the stories of triumph, innovation, and positive impact shaping our world. Broadcasting live from our School of Eloquence studio in Ikoyi, Lagos, we bring you the news that truly inspires. At Achievement News, we believe in celebrating human ingenuity, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of progress. We sift through the headlines to bring you the breakthroughs, the milestones, and the uplifting narratives that prove possibilities around and true achievement is within reach for everyone. Our top story in global health brings a monumental breakthrough for millions worldwide. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic in the United States have announced the development of a new blood test with remarkable accuracy for detecting early symptoms of Alzheimer's diseases. And this revolution test boasts an impressive 95% accuracy in detection and an 82% accuracy in ruling out the condition. And this is a game changer, moving us beyond invasive and costly procedures like the PET scan, offering a far more accessible and affordable diagnostic tool for this devastating neurodegenerative disease.
Alzheimer's disease, amyloid plaques that exist in the brains of people with Alzheimer's disease. The reason it's so exciting is that as a blood test, it's a very easy and accessible way for us to find people who have Alzheimer's disease pathology.
This breakthrough reminds us that even against the most complex challenges, human ingenuity persists. Never give up on the pursuit of solutions, and your persistent effort in any field can unlock breakthroughs that changes lives forever. We see possibilities. Bringing it home, Nigeria has showcased remarkable commitments to its health sector on the global stage. At the recent 15th BRICS Health Ministers meeting in Brazil, Nigeria's Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Isaac Saluko, proudly announced a national record: the vaccination of over 14 million girls against human papillomavirus or HPV. This massive effort is a huge stride towards cervical cancer prevention. Furthermore, Nigeria has allocated a significant $200 million in its 2025 budget to sustain critical interventions against HIV and AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, underscoring our nation's resolve to prioritize health even amidst global funding shifts. Every step taken in collective health is a step towards collective strength. Your personal commitment to well-being and community health contributes to a healthier, more prosperous nation for all. We see possibilities. From global health to global education, UNESCO is sparking a powerful vision for the future. Marking the 10-year anniversary of the International Day of Women and Girls in Science, UNESCO has launched its Imagine a World with More Women in Science campaign. This initiative champions the essential role women play in driving progress in STEM fields, highlighting how diversity leads to more inclusive research, greater creativity, and ultimately solutions that truly meet everyone's needs. The campaign aims to bridge the persistent gender gap in scientific communities worldwide. Let this campaign ignite your curiosity, challenge stereotypes in your own life, and encourage the next generation, especially our girls, to explore every field from science to art. The potential is limitless, and we see possibilities. And speaking of limitless potential, a Nigerian youth has made our nation proud on the global stage. Stanley Chudubem Anigbogu clinched the prestigious overall title of 2025 Commonwealth Young Person of the Year. Stanley was recognized for his groundbreaking work transforming waste into solar innovations, which have provided clean energy to over 10,000 refugees across Africa. His organization, LightEd, founded during the challenging period of COVID-19, has also trained 6,000 students and recycled over 20,000 kilograms of waste. Stanley's story is a powerful reminder that age is just a number when passion meets purpose. No challenge is too big when you approach it with creativity and a desire to make a difference. Inspire change in your own sphere. We see possibilities. Tune in again for more achievement news, your daily source of positivity. Visit us at www.achievementchannel.com and join the movement #WeSeePossibilities. That's all on the achievement news for today. Remember, every day brings new opportunities for growth, progress, and impact. Keep achieving, keep inspiring, and most importantly, keep believing in the power of possibility. My name is Comfort Idongse Basi, and I'm wishing you a truly impactful day.
Welcome to Teachers World, where we celebrate the heroes of education. Join us on Teachers World, only on the Achievement Channel.
Hello, and welcome to another inspiring episode of Teachers World, the program that celebrates the pivotal role of educators in shaping the future and provides valuable resources for their professional and personal growth. I am Ugonwa Ohuchi, your host, and I'm delighted to be with you today. You are watching the Achievement Channel, Nigeria's first and only 100% motivational TV station, broadcasting from the School of Eloquence studio in Ikoyi, Lagos. In today's episode, we'll be diving deep into how teachers can support the mental health of their students and foster a positive learning environment. It's going to be an insightful session, so stay tuned.
Join us on Teachers World, only on the Achievement Channel.
I'm thrilled to introduce our guest today, Ms. Sarah Ndu. She's an educational psychologist and a dedicated mental health advocate who specializes in children and adolescents. She believes in a world where no child is neglected and every child receives the right education tailored to their unique learning style. Ms. Ndu, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So in your experience, knowing that you're an educational psychologist, what are some of the key mental health challenges that children and adolescents face today?
Okay, yes. Thank you so much for asking. Okay, in my experience, adolescents and children, they face quite a number of mental health challenges. And firstly, mental health is a crucial part of teaching and learning. A lot of children and adolescents face mental health challenges, which is neglected by either their parents or their teachers. And I would just make mention of few challenges here. One, let's talk about anxiety and stress. Anxiety and stress, a lot of children and adolescents are anxious and under stress because of, let's say, an expectation from family, expectation from parents, peer pressure thereabouts, and they are under, a certain kind of expectation from family, which puts them in under pressure, where they need to have a certain kind of academic success. And if they are not, able to meet up with that kind of expectation from family or parents, they are under pressure and they're anxious. So another is trauma. Trauma is a key mental health factor. Most children have traumatic experiences, or they have what we call the PTSD, that's a post-traumatic stress disorder, where they where they begin to express whatever trauma they've had in the past. For instance, growing up, they probably had abusive parents, or they were abused as a child. And because they were abused, it's, would affect their mental health, affect the way they think, affect the way they process things, and even find it difficult to learn during the classroom activities.
Okay, I think this is quite insightful. Talking about parents not being aware sometimes of these challenges of the children. What are some of the practical strategies that what role do you think educators can play in addressing these challenges? What are the strategies that educators can use in addressing these challenges?
Okay, thank you. Educators, which are teachers, first of all, are they are the first to actually take notes and figure out when a child is struggling mentally. They are the first to ever notice that a child is struggling mentally. So when a teacher or an educator finds out that this child is struggling mentally, because we teachers pay attention, or rather we spend more time with children in school rather than the way their parents do. A lot of times, most of these parents are actually more busy. They go to work very early in the morning. Before they come back, probably they have someone who picks their child from school, and they come back because of the hustle and the bustle of Lagos. They get back home, they're all tired. They pay less attention to their children. So we teachers pay more attention to these children because we spend more time. So first of all, we are the ones who can figure out that a child is struggling mentally. And when we can do that, we begin to observe. We observe their academic performance, their socializing skill, if they isolate themselves or they are just irritable, they just flare up just by a little thing, they're angry or whatever. So one, we're able to observe, and while we observe that, we educators or teachers are supposed to now call this child, draw the attention of this child, and have a conversation, not being judgmental, have a conversation, just get to know what the matter is. Is there something, is there a problem at home? And by the time the teachers have had that conversation, they can now furthermore take it to the parents, get to involve the parent of this child and pay attention to it. Furthermore, if it's something that they think they should involve the school authorities, they should get the school authorities involved.
This is so true. Picking the point of being in Lagos, where a lot of parents are actually really busy. I think I agree with you that now educators have an even greater role to play, especially in Lagos, knowing that many parents are busy, so they don't get to see the children as much as they would want to see the children, or they should see the children. So what, can you give us some specific strategies, maybe one or two strategies that you think that teachers can use to support their students to support their mental health in the classroom while they're teaching?
Okay, some of the strategic methods that practical strategies that teachers can use to support the mental health of students. I would want to talk about growing up. It was quite difficult for me to learn because I had challenges socializing. I didn't know how to speak up. I had a very low self-esteem, so I didn't know how to. It was quite uncomfortable for me in class. And also because of the fact that I had challenges academically, where that term of a child being a dullard came from. I struggled with that. I struggled academically. I couldn't, I didn't have good grades. I didn't have good grades growing up. And it now made the teachers and even my, classmates, look at me in a certain way. There's always that, that stigma that comes with children who do not perform well academically. And with that, these children are not comfortable. So first of all, the first practical strategy every teacher can take is, creating a positive learning environment. No child is a dullard. Don't make any child feel like because they are being anxious in class when they ask them a question, or they fidget when they are being called to give a speech or something. They might be struggling with a mental health challenge that you do not know. And instead of making them feel less of themselves, create a positive environment, make them know that they can do better. They can do better than that. And secondly, have inclusive learning environment where you have to involve every child in a learning activity. You don't have to say, because this is a brilliant person or that is a brilliant person, then they should be the one to be pushed in any class activity. Involve everybody. Let every child be involved in any classroom activity. Practicalize it. Give them a group discussion. Give them a group work to do. And in that way, we can actually have a good teaching learning process.
Thank you so much for sharing your own personal experience, because it makes a world of difference when we hear from your personal experience. If I can reiterate what you have said about the strategies, creating a positive first and then an inclusive learning environment. Those are excellent points, Ms. Indu. Thank you so much. Could you also give us an insight into how teachers can identify when a student actually needs support pertaining to their mental health in the classroom?
All right, thank you.
And what steps they could possibly take to support.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. I would say that teachers can they can get to know when a child is actually struggling mentally by observing. Observation is one of the key things to know. Every teacher is like, I say teachers are second parents. Yeah, teachers are second parents, where after their biological parents, then we have the teachers. So the first thing that they can do is to observe. When they've been able to observe the students, that's why they have to be able to pay attention to every child in their classroom, pay attention to every one of them, and observe their, academic performance, observe their socializing skills, observe the way they interact with their fellow classmates and all of that. So by the time you're able to observe that, okay, this child was doing better last term, but this term now your grades are reducing. What's the matter? Then the steps they can take is that when they figure out that this child has a declining academic performance, then they would call this child aside, get to have a one-on-one communication with them, have a conversation with them, just create a positive, a non-judgmental atmosphere where this child can confide in them and get to talk, get to explain what it is, because children and adolescents do not like to talk about things. They prefer, keeping things to themselves. But when you're able to create, a calm, good, and positive environment, a non-judgmental one, trust me, they'll be able to open up with time. It might take a lot of time, but they would with time. And when you've been able to do that, the next step is to get their parents involved. Or if you feel getting their parents involved might be too much, you can tell the school authorities to get, probably a guidance or a counseling, strategy or so, a guidance. A guidance counselor to help, or have a specialist, a mental health specialist in their school where they can actually assist the child. So
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Indu. These are excellent points that you have raised. So we will be taking a short break now. So you are still watching the Achievement Channel, and we're here with Ms. Indu. We'll be back. Stay tuned.
For us here at the School of Eloquence, our primary focus is on the art of public speaking, because it's a major problem. And public speaking, we must understand, is the raw art of speaker to audience oral communication.
I got a lot more than I actually expected. I have overcome the fears I used to have. The more you speak, the better you are at speaking.
School of Eloquence is the place you can be, and there's a turnaround. That change you're expecting, you get it there.
Welcome back to our program Teachers World. You are still watching the Achievement Channel here in the School of Eloquence studio in Ikoyi, and we're still with Miss Sarah Ndu Adanna, our educational psychologist.
Thank you.
Miss Ndu, before the break, we were talking about how you gave us insight into how teachers can observe when a student actually needs support and what to do about that. So earlier on, you had told us you had shared your own personal story. But as a follow-up, could you share a particular thing done by maybe a specific teacher that helped you out of that situation, or I mean, something that could help that we could learn from?
Okay, yeah, thank you. Back then in my primary school, I think I would have to just, give a good background story. So it was quite difficult for me to assimilate, and that was because the way I was being taught was not my learning style. So that's where the educational psychology of children comes in. It wasn't my learning style, meaning there are different ways children learn, and there is a teaching method applicable for that learning style. So because of that, I found it difficult to learn. So for instance, I'm a visual learner. I learn better visually. I rather see what you're teaching me than just giving me theoretical, aspect of what you're teaching me. So that affected the way I learned and assimilated knowledge, which now made it, hard for me to read and write exams and have good grades. So fast forward to when some teachers, a particular teacher paid attention, and she called me, what is this? What's the matter? Is there something wrong? Is there anything at home? And there's a problem and all of that. And what she did was so profound to me, because after she had a conversation with me, I didn't even know, because I was young. I didn't even know that, I had that as a challenge. So after she now realized that it's actually the way, and it's not like I didn't know how to read, write, and I did that, but I needed a better way to learn, which was a visual aspect of learning. So what she now did was that she now involved my parents, and, told them that it's better off that, they get involved in my academics by, helping me to, having technologies like, other things to assist, like after school work, whatever thing that's been done from school, my parents should be able to, help me visually to learn, probably with a phone or something, just so that I can, be able to, and that helped for a while. That helped for a while. Also, I was not able to, now understand better what was learned. And with that, that now made me understand that I learned better visually. So fast forward into my secondary school and university days, I now understood that whatever is being taught theoretically, because of the Nigerian system of education, they do what they can do, the lecture method, give it to you and you're out. So I now understood better that this lecture method is not going to stick. All I have to do is that I go on YouTube, look for means to get what was taught in class. And trust me, when I do that, watch those videos, and when I do that, I'm able to understand every single thing that was taught in class, and that way I had better academic performance.
Beautiful. This is a powerful example of how one teacher, the care taken by one teacher, actually made a huge difference in your life. Thank you so much for sharing this story with us. Now, let's talk about self-care for teachers. Teaching is a demanding job.
Of course.
You agree, and I know that because I have the experience. And teachers also need to prioritize their own mental well-being. So what advice do you have for teachers for they themselves?
Okay, thank you. Teachers, first of all, you are not a therapist. It's not in your role to want to act the role of a therapist to every child. But I tell you, it is most important that you also prioritize your mental health, because if you are affected mentally, you cannot give in your best to every child that needs your support. So I would advise that prioritize your mental health as a teacher. Seek support if need be. You know, go for professional therapeutic sessions with mental health practitioners. You know, have one-on-one sections with them, and you know, get to understand your own mental health and whatever thing you are struggling with and the solution that will be preferred to you. You know, prioritize your mental health. Take out time. Don't even overload yourself with work. It's hard, of course, as a teacher. It's hard. You need to, you know, it's demanding. You need to meet the needs of every child in the school, but make sure you take out time for yourself. There are a lot of teachers that want to do a lot of things at the same time, where they, you know, they are, after the school activity, after the school time that they've had in school, they still, you know, have extra lessons in, you know, with students. It's not wrong to have that, but most times, most teachers do that to, like, in different houses, home lessons. Yeah, they have home lessons over the week, over the weekend, all of that, you know, just to, like, you know, meet up with things. But most times when you overwork yourself as a teacher, you would realize that when it's the first day of the week, that's on a Monday, you are stressed out. You wouldn't put in so much for the students that actually need your help and support. You know, so make sure you prioritize your mental health. Reduce every stress as possible as you can. You know, reduce it, because whatever you have is what you can give out. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Sundu. So finally, for the teachers who are watching us today, what is your message, your takeaway message for them, at least just in one sentence?
All right. Thank you very much. So my takeaway message to teachers is this: you play a vital role in the future of every child. You either make their future or you destroy their future. No child should be left behind. No child is a dullard. Please put in the best efforts that you can in making their future, and they will thank you for how much effort that you did. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure, Ms. Sundu. Thank you so much for being on the program with us today. And we've gone away with this insight: no child should be left behind. Thank you.
Join us on Teachers World, only on the Achievement Channel.
That's it for today on Teachers World. Remember, small actions can make a big difference in a child's life. And by prioritizing mental health, you're not just shaping students, you are shaping futures. Would like to hear from you. Share your thoughts, experiences, and questions on social media using the hashtag #TeachersWorld. Let's keep the conversation going. Follow us at Achievement Channel on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for daily doses of inspiration, exclusive content, and behind-the-scenes updates. Use the hashtag #WeSeePossibilities and share your thoughts with us. Stay inspired, stay focused, and keep seeing possibilities on the Achievement Channel, where we see possibilities.
Join us on Teachers World, only on the Achievement Channel.
Mr. Motivator, Mr. Motivator, Mr. Motivator, Mr. Motivator Minute.
Mr. Motivator,
Mr. Motivator, the challenge to perform.
Every morning we're told in Africa that the gazelle wakes up with a clear determination that it must run faster than the fastest lion in order not to be eaten alive. Every morning we're told that the lions also wake up determined to run faster than the slowest gazelle, otherwise they will starve. Well, there's a moral to this anecdote. It is simply this, that it doesn't matter whether you're the lion or the gazelle. What truly matters is that when morning comes, you had better get up and get going. It's the dawn of a brand new day, and I'm here to ask you, what do you want to achieve today? Where do you want to go with your life, with your goals, with your aspirations? What sort of difference are you seeking to make in whatever it is you've chosen for yourself to do? My job is to challenge you to perform. My job is to inspire you, to energize you, and to bring to you all of the resources that you will need so that you can indeed say to yourself that, yes, I had this morning with Mr. Motivator.
Mr. Motivator.
Mr. Motivator, Mr. Motivator.
Walt Disney, the founder of Disneyland, once said that all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. We're going to be discussing what I consider my favorite subject matter. It is the subject matter of dreams, the subject matter of setting goals for yourself, of aspiring to achieve the impossible. Most times, what we think is impossible is actually something waiting to be done by someone else. In fact, as Napoleon once put it, that impossible is only a word to be found in the dictionary of fools. And I know you are not a fool. So when we talk about dreams, what are the 4 major things that you need to know in order to live a successful life driven by the power of dreams? Number 1, you must dream big dreams. Dream the dreams of giants. Dream a dream that might look so impossible at the outset, but you need a dream to be so big so as to enable it to challenge you, to inspire you. It's always very important to realize that you were not made for small things. As a matter of fact, every one of us is made to do something big at one point in time or the other in our lives. So dream a dream that stimulates you, that excites you every morning to want to get up and go. That's the first principle. Number 2, you must draft the dream. Put it down in writing. Maybe you need to sculpt it, paint it. In whichever way you can, put it out there. Make it tangible so that people can see and relate to it. And number 3, you must declare your dreams. Tell people about your dreams. We're not asking you to discuss your dreams, but I'm saying to you, declare it. Let people know what it is you are seeking to accomplish in your life or in whatever field of human endeavor that you've set out to do. And then finally, number 4 is this. And this is where it all comes together. You must do what the dream demands of you to do. If the distance be not traveled, the destination will never be reached. Dreams will remain pie in the sky if we do not take action. So what actions are you taking? Set goals. Specifically begin to outline what you need to do so that you can begin to work towards them. I leave you with the words of a young lady who was challenged and people felt her dreams were impossible. In fact, they said to her, "Your dreams are not real." Then she replied by saying, "The dream is real. It is the failure to make it happen that is the unreality." Dream big dreams.
Mr. Motivator.
Mr. Motivator, Mr. Motivator.
Mr. Motivator, the challenge to perform.
Welcome to another exciting edition of Career Success on the Achievement Channel, where we delve into the stories, strategies, and secrets of remarkable individuals who are shaping the future of industries and organizations. I am Oyin Priye Krumale, and today we have an incredible guest, a man whose expertise in leadership, strategy, and organizational transformation has propelled senior executives and companies towards unimaginable success. He is none other than Dr. Maxwell Ubah. He's a highly sought-after consultant specializing in strategy, leadership, cultural alignment, and organizational transformation. He is the CEO of Strategy House. Dr. Maxwell holds the prestigious Sloan Fellowship in Leadership and Strategy from the London Business School, and that was in 2011. He is a graduate of medicine and surgery from the College of Medicine, University of Lagos, Akoka, in 1997, where he graduated with a distinction in physiology and was the best medical student in basic medical sciences in 1992. He's a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Management Consultants, United States and in Canada. He's also a fellow of International Management Consultants Board, that's also in the United States, a chartered management consultant, accredited management consultant, and a member Institute of Training and Development, and also learning development specialist, learning and Development Network International. That's quite a robust one. And today, guess what? He is here to tell his career success story and share insights that will inspire and empower you to unlock your potential. Welcome once again to the program. Guess what? Drum rolls, and we have Dr. Maxwell Ubah here. Hello, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome to Career Success.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Happy to share my story with the audience. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Okay. First of all, let me say this. Whilst I was reading your profile, I believe our viewers will be thinking I'm expecting to see somebody like 10 feet tall, huge, big and strong. Of course, you look huge, big and strong, but it looks like you appear like physically like a model. So I don't know what you've been doing to keep yourself on shape like this, but I'll advise that you keep on doing that.
Thank you.
So, straight to business of the day. Where did it all start?
I think it started, in Lagos, because that was where I was born. I was born in Lagos. I did my primary school in Lagos, in actually a local government that you call a Jeremy Felodu local government.
Ajegunle?
Yes.
No way.
Some people don't believe this particular
No,
side
I can't.
of the
You don't
story.
look it.
Because, and for me, it's also a message of hope that your background doesn't have to define you. It doesn't matter where you were born. You can actually become what you want to become in life. So it was in a Jeremy Felodu primary school that I did my primary school. But something significant in primary school, I was an average student in primary school. I remembered my first time primary 1 was 14, second 13, third 14. But somewhere in primary 5, there was a major turnaround. And what happened was, I saw during the PTA, Parent Teachers Association Day, where the best student was given an award, and I saw my classmate walking down the aisle and everybody celebrating them. And there and then I said to myself, in primary 6, I'm going to win this prize. That was what I said to myself internally. And guess what? For the very first time in my life, it was in primary 6, first time primary 6 that I came first. And one lesson I learned is that I took from that experience that the decisions you make actually propels you to greatness. And a lot of people are not maximizing their potential because they've not gotten to that point where they say to themselves, this is who I want to be, or put in another way, I deserve more. So you can be comfortable with your result. The day you get to that point where you say to yourself, as an individual, I actually deserve more. The people that are being promoted after every 6 months or 1 year, why can't it be me? And that was what I said to myself in primary school, and it started the journey. Then to secondary school was where the major success story happened. I did my first GCE in JSS 2.
What school was that?
From Reservation Secondary School.
Ah, no way. No way. The reason why I'm saying this, because if you know where Jeremy Felodun Primary School. He starts in Ajegunle. I'm sure you've heard stories about that place. And let alone Reservation Secondary School, that should be in Apapa.
Yes, Tolu Schools Complex.
Tolu Schools Complex.
So for people
it's a dangerous area for secondary school students at that point in time.
At that point, yes.
You could hardly tell if those students have any vision or plans of becoming someone in life. I'm just trying to paint a picture. It's coming from somewhere very deep. And for the fact that he has emerged the way he is now is something to be applauded.
Yeah, thank you. So the school was Reservation Secondary School. Like you said, in the 80s, the Tolu Schools Complex is notorious for gang activities, criminal activities, and all that. But I was fortunate, blessed, lucky, whatever you want to use, to have a teacher who, his name is Mr. A.B. Adelusi, who called me and some other boys and said to us in JSS 1 that we should go home and tell our teacher, our parents, that we're going to write GC in JSS 2. In fact, when I went home and announced that I was going to write GC in JSS 2, I didn't really know what GCE was. This was 1980, 86 there, but I didn't know what GCE was. I was just excited about announcing GCE to my parents. I remember what my late elder brother said. He said, because of you, WAEC will create F10. And I asked him, I asked him then, what is F10? He said, F9 is 0 to 39, but your result will be so bad that WAEC will create F10 because of you. Cut the long story short, the teacher started preparing us for GCE. Eventually, I entered for 3 subjects in 1987. I did my GCE in 7th Avenue Primary School in JSS2. I did maths and physics and English in JSS2. And I had a C4 in maths, a C6 in physics, and a C6 in English in JSS2.
Wow.
By SS1, 1989, I was the second best science student in the whole of Lagos State. So in in 1989, I represented Lagos State in a national quiz. The overall best came from Queen's College. Then I need to mention it from Queen's College. Then I was in SS1 and the lady was in SS2. So we represented Lagos State in a national quiz. And the lesson for me also is that even in a bad situation like Tolu, I had a teacher. And everybody can benefit from having a model, a mentor that can shape your future academically or in your career. So that's what happened in secondary school. And I wanted to do, I know because people will ask.
That's an excellent story, I'm telling you.
Thank you.
Please go on.
Thank you. So in 1989, so when I wrote my papers in 1989, my first choice was to do engineering because physics was my easiest science subject. But those days, if you're very intelligent in the sciences, you are pushed towards medicine. And so I said to myself, I like challenge, and University of Lagos was the highest cutoff mark. And if I can do GC in JSS2, I should be able to enter University of Lagos first time. And I wrote my GC in 1990, entered. 1990 was the year they cancelled English, and I scored 244 over 300. I had
244?
Yes, I had a 90 in physics, a 78 in chemistry, and a 76 in biology. So I entered University of Lagos, and in my second MB, which is what they call the most difficult exam then in school, I don't know about now, I had a distinction in physiology, and I was the best student in my class. And I won the University of Lagos Prize, the College of Medicine Prize, the Provost of Medicine Prize in 1992. But somewhere along the line, I had to make a detour from medicine.
Okay, now before you move on or start telling us how you detoured and what prompted that, this is quite inspiring. Your foray, your movement from primary, from that environment, secondary school, then university. So now I'm going to say you're a medical doctor. So you kind of decipher what's wrong with people's health and how you need to fix them up so they can be healthy and go about their daily lives. But now you have to fix organizations. First of all, what made you study medicine? Secondly, why the detour
two very important questions. Why did I study medicine? I think I mentioned it the last time. I wanted to do engineering, and in fact, even in school, when I say this, some people are surprised. I read Nikon and Packard, the physics textbook, from the first page to the last page. I read Abbott from the first page to the last page. So physics
that name sounds familiar.
Yes, Abbott. Physics, I knew physics at the tip. You understand? I knew physics very well. It was the easiest for me science subject. I wanted to do engineering. My daddy, late of blessed memory, wanted a doctor. And since they said intelligent, the best science students should read medicine, so societal pressure with that of family expectation pushed me into medicine. But I remember what my late mother said when I was filling my JAMB form. He said, do you think you have the mannerism, the attributes, the personality traits to become a doctor? I said, Mommy, I can. He said, it's not about your intelligence, it's also about your character, about your personality and all that. So med school, I was in med school doing well academically. Second MB did well, never failed any exam in med school. But somewhere in my 5th year, my daddy died. So the motivation for medicine also died with him, because it was the primary reason then that I was doing medicine, coupled with the fact that I had a bit of that clash between my personality and the practice of medicine. So I just said to myself in 5th year, I think I need to find something else that aligns with my passion, or something that aligns with my personality, and that was why I made the change. So why did I start studying organizations? It was in that 5th year when I decided I was going to leave medicine. I started asking myself questions. My professors are people we revere, we worship, we idolize, because we need to read their textbooks to become doctors. But I noticed that when they are given positions, HOD, Dean of Basic Sciences, Dean of Clinical Medicine, and all that, provost of the college, we noticed that they couldn't lead well. And I started asking myself in 5th year med school, what does it take to lead a group of people, an organization, a department well? And that was what led me to start reading Peter Drucker's book in 5th year med school.
Okay, now, sorry, I need to stop you now. I know we are due for a break, and my producer is trying to prompt me for that, but I have to just take the risk to ask you one more question before we do that. What was motivating you, pushing you on the inside in all of this? Because it sounded adventurous, and also you sound like you were enjoying it. So what was the motivation for you?
I think the first motivation for me then in school is that I want to be the best that I can be in any field I find myself. That's the first thing. And secondly is that I wanted to play to my strength. And thirdly is also I want to help people. It might be in medicine, it might be arts of medicine, but ultimately I want to help people become, because what do doctors do? Doctors help people become better in their health. I help people become better as leaders and lead the organization. So that's my own way of helping people and contributing to society. At the end of the day, that's the things that motivate me. I want to be my best. I want to maximize my giftings and my talent. And ultimately, it means nothing if it doesn't help somebody become better.
Okay. Now, thank you very much. We're going to go on a break. And when we are back from this break, Dr. Maxwell Ubah is still going to be here. He's going to start talking to us about his foray into the next part, which is talking about leadership, strategic thinking, and organizational reforms. Then we're going to be looking at some of the challenges he faced whilst he was doing that. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
For us here at the School of Eloquence, our primary focus is on the art of public speaking, because it's a major problem. And public speaking, we must understand, is the raw art of speaker to audience oral communication.
I got a lot more than I actually expected. I have overcome the few years I used to have.
The more you speak, the better you are at speaking.
School of Eloquence is the place you can be, and there's a turnaround. That change you are expecting, you get it there.
Welcome back, and many thanks for joining us. right here on the Achievement Channel, and this is Career Success. Still have in the studio with me Dr. Maxwell Ubah. Welcome once again.
Thank you.
Now, so you were going to delve into how you got into organizational transformation and your intention for that purpose. Yes.
So I said it was that 50 and I said, okay, what can I do? And in that process of asking, why is it that intelligent people, professors with different degrees cannot lead a department, a unit, the school of medicine? And that was what led me into strategy and leadership, saying, okay, how can people lead better? How can people lead better? And so I started reading Peter Drucker's book. So and there's a similarity. You know, in medicine, one of the postings I did in medicine was dermatology. So we are all dressed up, suited. In dermatology, we're dealing with skin diseases. And I found out that when you remove the clothes of some people, there's a lot of things that people are going through and they need help. Same thing with organizations. You see the big building, it looks all nice and fancy and the rest. If you go internally, you find out that people are going through a lot of challenges. And those challenges stems from poor leadership. And I said, Maxwell, can you become like an organizational doctor, helping organizations and dealing with those people-related issues in that organization? And for me, that's one of the greatest joy I have, helping organizations become effective.
How do you think people can learn from this? Because you sat down by yourself, and from what you got from reading other people's books, you were able to decipher what you think or the path you think you should take for now. But right now, as we speak, reading is a culture that is dying in our society. So how can you inspire people to take this line again to discover
so
more?
If you put everything I've said today, let me start by saying that you can become anything you want to be in life, but you cannot become everything. So when we try to motivate people, we need to let people know that they cannot become everything, but they can become one thing, and you can become the best in that one thing. So the first thing I need to say to the person is that you need to find that one thing that you can become the best in, that one thing that plays to your strength, that one thing that is in line with who you think you are. That's the first thing you need to start. What is that one thing? If I need to reduce my life to one sentence, what would that one sentence be? That's the first thing I need to say here. The second thing I need to say here is that you require the role of a mentor. It took the teacher, the example of the teacher that I said, to help me discover that. Then you come to the point of personal decision. I also made a decision that this is what I want to do with my life. I made a decision that I am going to become, I'm going to come first in premises. I'm going to get a distinction in physiology. It's a decision that I made. Then you support that with every other thing about hard work and all that. So reading, of course, you need to read because you need to discover what others have discovered. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Medicine, I think the discipline of medicine is that it forces us to read. That's what the discipline of medicine. Our textbooks are quite big. You need to find out what are the root causes of the disease and all that. So in any field that you have chosen, you need to read. And there's a common saying that is out there, the 10,000 hour principle, that if you invest 10,000 hours in anything, you become an expert in that particular thing. So go back again. You need to choose the field you think you can become the very best in. You need to find the right mentors. You need to make the right decision. Then you need to read.
Okay. In all of this, just listening to your story, it sounds so inspiring, and some other people could feel like, let me just jump on it and ride on it. But were there some difficulties? Were there some mountainous problems and challenges you encountered? And if there were some of them, how did you maneuver?
I think the challenges I encountered was when I was trying to make the transition from medicine and out of medicine. A lot of people did not understand why would somebody who did well in medicine wants to leave medicine. And the truth of the matter is that not everybody will understand your dream. Not everybody will understand your goal. Elon Musk, for example, had an opportunity to do PhD in Stanford, and he deferred his program and never completed it and pursued his entrepreneurial dream. Some people might say maybe because he wanted to remain in America, but more of his entrepreneurial dream. Same thing with the owners of Google. Am I saying you should leave university? No. What I'm saying is that you need to be in tune with yourself. You need to face rejection. That rejection of you want to leave medicine, the ridicule, you want to leave medicine to do something else. For a lot of people, it did not make sense. And sometimes when you want to pursue your dreams, not everybody would understand it. Not everybody would appreciate it. You need to be in tune. Yes, listen to our advice, but at the end of the day, follow that path that speaks to who you are. And a path that at the end of the year, at the end of your life, you can look back and say, I lived a fulfilled life because I pursued the cause that was there. I also faced rejection. So moving from medicine to the financial services sector, I started at the very bottom. I had to learn the ropes. I made mistakes, but I bounced back from it. And that's the concept of grit and resilience, that you need to be tenacious. I think for me, one lesson people can take from me is that I have made transitions in life, and you can also make that transition, but you will face challenges. Just persist and you will overcome it at the end.
Were you scared?
No, I wasn't. I think that maybe the classic David killing the lion and the bird, and he could face Goliath, because I had done GCE in JSS 2 at age 13. An exam that is for people that are older. I think it emboldened me somehow. I wasn't scared of failing. In fact, my greatest fear is not living up to my potential, not failing. I can accept failure. And failure is maybe you're not maximized, you did not make the target. What I cannot accept is not trying. And that's for me my greatest fear. Try, give it your all, go out on a limb. And at the end of the day, if you don't meet the target, learn the lesson, but not what you call failure. Failure is an event, not a person. So I wasn't scared of failing. I was scared of not trying. That's what I was scared of. And I said, Maxwell, it is when I try, then I'll know whether I'm capable of it or not. So I tried GCE, I found that I was capable. I did it in SS1, I tried it, I found that I was capable. It was when I tried and I can come to that fact of, is it a problem of capacity? Is it a problem of motivation? Is it a problem of discipline? But I'm not scared of failure.
Okay. Now, some of the pictures you sent me, I saw you were standing in the midst of some of your clients or some of your students whom you're tutoring and you were teaching, and I saw that there was also a picture where you were exchanging pleasantries with the commissioner of police, and so when you encounter these people, you deal with people on a daily basis in organizations. What do you think is the basic problem about people and getting to the pinnacle of their career, and how can that be solved?
So I think it depends on the context you want to look at it, you understand? So I've been privileged to speak before governors, I've been privileged to speak before CEOs and great men in the Nigerian society. But performance challenges, so you can look at people have performance challenges, and it is broken down universally into five buckets for performance challenges. Number one is clarity. Number two is capacity. Number three is motivation. Number four is resources. And number five is consequences. At the end of the day, every performance challenge that people face will fall in one of these five. So from an organizational standpoint, it's in one of these five. From an individual standpoint, maybe the person is not motivated. Maybe the person thinks he doesn't have the resources. Maybe it's a problem of capacity. The person doesn't have the skill sets to do that. Maybe the person is not even aware. Or maybe the person doesn't understand the concept of consequence management. At the end of the day, every problem that an individual faces, we can drill it into one of these five. The reason why people will keep doing things that are wrong is because there's no consequence management in the Nigerian society.
Okay.
So I think for me, the way forward is the individual to decide that this is what I want to do and I want to achieve in my life. You know, Stephen Covey says you can be an island of excellence in a sea of mediocrity. So in spite of the challenges I see in the Nigerian society and these five problems, there are one or two individuals who, in spite of these challenges, in spite of the resource issue, in spite of this, are still succeeding.
Okay. Now, I want to know moments where success emerged in your face, career-wise and otherwise, where, maybe promotion and maybe where the plaques, the gifts, the accolades came in. At what section of the career did it came in, and how did you receive those?
I think my career is also, in every place I've worked, I've been commended. So I worked in banking, you understand. I was promoted when I was in banking to an assistant manager in 2004, you understand. So in every place in in medicine, we don't have that promotions like that because I didn't stay so long in medicine. But my professors commended me. So what I would say for me is, if you do a good job, so even some in other banks that I worked, I got offers. I got people who wanted me to come and join them because they had the work I was doing. But I am not particularly, let me put it this way, the first joy I derive from my work is the joy of doing a great job. And so when today I did a presentation for a company and the person said, Maxwell, where's Maxwell? Call him, he's never late. That's the first joy. The joy of people knowing that I do a great job. The second joy is not the joy of the external reward that comes. But and did I have it in a lot of my career? Of course I did. And when it comes, because I was expecting it didn't come as a surprise. The only that organization I told you where there was a delay because they didn't believe in rewarding excellence, and I said to them, if it doesn't happen when I want it, I'm going to leave. So that's how I respond to that particular question.
Okay, so lastly, tell us, what advice do you have for Nigerian youths, the young people of these days who are somehow trying to okay, where do I go from here? What should I study medicine? Okay, should I go into this business? Am I going to resign from my jobs and take up entrepreneuring? Or what should I do? They are confused.
Okay, so let me speak to, just quickly because of our time, I'll speak to people at work. Let me speak to people that are already working. Somebody asked me if I want to give an advice to a young person starting his career, what would I say to the person? I said just 3 things. Number one is wherever you find yourself, do a good job. That's the first principle I tell you. Make excellence your watchword wherever you find yourself. Number 2 is develop skills for the future. The fact that you're in a particular job doesn't mean that that job will be relevant for the future. So you need to make sure you develop skills for the future. And number 3 is that you find a great mentor or a sponsor for you. If you put it to somebody deciding his career also, or a young person about to go to school, yes, I know that you need to ask yourself in the future what courses or skills will be relevant, and you can make the decision right now. So if I find myself in a particular course, it's okay, it's fine, but develop the skills that will be relevant for the future, because in the future we know that some courses will not be as relevant as they are now in the future. So whatever decision you make, whether it's medicine, whether it's law, whether it's psychology, just make sure that whatever course you want to study and career path you want to choose will be relevant in the next 5-10 years. And if you find yourself in that place, make excellence your watchword. Thank you.
Excellence, develop skill for the future. And lastly,
find a mentor or a sponsor.
Find a mentor or a sponsor. Those are not my words. Those are the words of Dr. Maxwell Ubah, our incredible guest this morning. It's great having you with us today on the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for honoring our invitation. Now, Sam Adeyemi said, successful people are the failures that refuse to quit, while failures are the successful people that quit easily. So, for you, I am saying don't give up on your career goals, your academic goals, your family goals, and all other aspirations you have. If you hold on a little longer, you will arrive at your predetermined destination. I am Oyinpriye Krumale saying bye for now.
A new day dawns, full of possibilities. Take the first step towards your dreams. Empower your mind with positive thoughts. Achieve more. Make a difference in someone's life today. Impossibility is nothing.
Imagine a world transformed by the power of giving.
where every act of kindness sparks another. These are the champions who dedicate their lives to change. Together, they are paying it forward. Champions of change. Paying it forward. Join us and be part of the movement. Here on the Achievement Channel.
Welcome to Champions of Change on the Achievement Channel, the show where we celebrate extraordinary individuals making a difference, transforming lives, and inspiring positive change. We're broadcasting from the School of Eloquence studio in Lagos, and today's episode is nothing short of remarkable. Joining us is a man whose life embodies resilience, innovation, and the power of vision, Dr. Cosmas Maduka. From humble beginnings as a teenage hawker to becoming the founder and president of the Coscharis Group, a powerhouse conglomerate spanning automobiles, agriculture, and technology. Dr. Maduka's story is a masterclass in turning challenges into opportunity. With over 4 decades of entrepreneurial excellence, he has not only built an empire, but has become a beacon of hope, proving that dreams fueled by hard work can change lives and communities. I'm your host, Pamela Igbo. You're in for an episode filled with wisdom, inspiration, and actionable lessons. Let's get started.
School of Eloquence, teaching the world to speak.
Welcome, Dr. Cosmas to Champions of Change. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you, Pamela. It's my pleasure to be here on your show.
Thank you. So this is a show where we honor people who have been doing inspiring things in their communities, and beyond your business acumen, we know that you are a fantastic philanthropist, a mentor. And so I wanted to ask you about your philanthropy and what you think of, corporate social responsibility and how you use that to lead your group in Coscharis.
Okay, well, thank you, Pamela. Again, it's my pleasure to be on your show this time. Corporate social responsibility is at the heart of our company, because if you get to know Coscharis and what we stood for, the inspiration was to create an institution that will be timeless in its relevancy and value. So it's not about me, it's not about whosoever, but it's about building something that outlasts the founders. How then are we going to do that? We came up with a mission to say Coscharis will deliver excellent product and services, giving our customers the highest value for their money, and will contribute to societal development by plowing resources back into the immediate community, growing stronger and waxing bigger into the future, and create a sense of pride in its employees. So, in the ecosystem, corporate responsibility is captured in what we set out to do. We never even said where we are going to be without it being part of the foundation of our organization. And that shows you how important it is. So it's at the very heart of our organization to plow back resources into the immediate community and society.
And I love it because I know that you lead by example. So that's an excellent thing. So in terms of, I know that Coscharis has expanded in terms of the different things that you offer. And one of the things that you did a few years ago is to get into Coscharis Farms in Anambra. And I know that your initiative there is to create about 3,000 jobs for people in Anambra. Can you tell us a little bit of how that has been going and what transformation you have seen in Anambra State, in that community, because of that?
Okay, it's important that people understand that Coscharis, in all our business lifetime that is close to 5 decades today, we are not one of those rice importers.
Right.
We never did. So, but Coscharis Farm was also not an accident. It's all about vision and plan. Because Where we are today, the property that we acquire, that we are doing the business of farming in Anako, in Anambra State, started over 30 years ago.
Wow.
My daughter would turn 33 this year, but that was when my wife went to give birth to her, that we signed the agreement. It was a different piece of property that we were acquiring. Omeka Omerowa was the governor of Anambra State then, the military administrator who signed the certificate of occupancy. So it was something we had always planned that we are going to do. But you know, my grandfather used to tell me that when you want to choose certain animal, you need to get the right gunpowder. Because if you take a borrowed gunpowder to shoot a chimpanzee, he will collect the gun from you and kill you. In other words, you don't get into farming without having the muzzle, the capacity to be able to take it. So over a period of time, we are in different kind of business, but we have never really get into, you know, real sector of economy where you add value, because buying and selling is not really how the economy grow. It's part of it. But the buying and selling is a starting point for you to grow, but keep your eyes on the big picture where ultimately you want it to be. By 2012, 2013, we started planning to go and develop this farmland. It's a quite a piece of property. Because some people ask me, is it real that you have 3,000 hectares in Anambra State? Because that's like a village. Where does such land exist? We acquired this property from different people. We bought Rogeni property, piece of property, 310 hectares. We bought Bravo property, 610 hectares. We bought Light Brewelly, and then before we now get the villagers to give us additional portions. So it was an area that was like a forest that never have been cultivated. If I start telling you the things we made developing that property, we didn't just make big panton there. We made different kind of animals there, whether it is alligators and all of those things, because it was a thick forest. Clearing it cost us ₦1 billion. That was in 2015.
Wow.
But what had happened was that when we wanted to go and develop this property, the villagers looked at us. We became their captive market, like a container they clear. Anytime we come, they want to collect money. So it becomes challenging. But when Obiano became the governor of Anambra State and called for stakeholders forum, I sat in one of the meetings where he shared his economic plan for Anambra State. And one of his 7 pillars of economic transformation was agriculture. It was very interesting. So I listened to it. And at the end of the meeting, I asked him, can we have a private sector, meeting, which he consented to. I said, look, I have this piece of property that actually located in your village, but unfortunately, each time we want to develop that piece of property, it was like we are a container that have landed, and this is becoming very irritating. He said, when are you ready to start? I said, tomorrow. He called his commissioner of agriculture, set up a committee, and said, please go talk to my people and tell them that they will be the people that is stopping him, because all he's looking for is to attract an investment in Anambra State. So that's where government is important, because they are catalysts to provide the enabling environment.
That's right.
So they had to do the community meeting and get the people to say, please, hands off. So we moved into the land, started the land clearing in 2015, because rice is a grain that grows on a mud. And for such large kind of property, for us to really do anything meaningful, we have to clear every wood, every stick. It has to be a bare field completely. because the window of replanting is very short. We actually have 4 excavators to be able to do this within 3 months to be able to replant. But we started the first time on rainy season farming, which is not, you are not in control. You are only subjected to the mother nature, whatever it provides to you. Whether what we did, part of that 2015, 2016. But by 2017, we made huge investment to take water from Iju River to about over 9 kilometers from the place to do major canal to bring water, and then started doing the secondary canals that had to put water into each of the farm. Like I said, rice is a grain that grow on a mud. Right. So it need water. Water is part of its life. So you do a much more controlled farming in a dry season, because you give the farm water when you need it, and be able to put all the inputs that will help it become successful. Rice also is a wheat that matured in 120 days. Every 4 months you can harvest. So if we plan very well, we can master three cycle, which other people in other countries are doing. But currently we are doing dry season that usually start from December, and we harvest in April, and plant again. And because we have had flood,
right? Yes.
3 consecutive years that really wipe off the entire farm when the Cameroonians release their dam. It go all the way from Benue State and come back to Anambra State. And if the flood exceeded to go beyond the tail of the seed, everything will die unless it recedes within 7 days. So what we have done now is to make sure we harvest lettuce by September. Right. Before you are getting into the late part of August, September, we are out on the field, because we have find a time that you have to only use canoe to go through the farm. The fact, the building we have in the farm, we have heard when the water come to the top of the roof, to tell you how bad it is in those areas. So what we have done to touch the community in Anak, where we are, is that the first 1 year we were solely on our own. By the second year, we started looking for art growers, where we teach the community what to do, give them some input, help them to farm. We built the first 2 years 5,000 art grower.
Wow.
Yes. There's a company called IDH, American has it. They all support us with these farmers to be able to support them with input, sometimes fertilizer. So what we do now is to train these people. We've been able to grow about 15,000 art growers today. And because of the training, we give them the input we made. Sometimes we can also harvest for them with our harvester. Sometimes we can mow for them with our mowing and all of that. So we now have an accord with them where we have the first right of refusal of buying their crops.
Okay.
Before, we have to go all the way from north, bringing Kebbi and all of those areas to be able to get our raw material, which is basically what you call paddy. Okay. Right. But today we've been able to create a capacity that we are getting our raw materials in Anambra State, and that's how we have affected the life of the communities where we are working in a very productive way. Today, the farm get better yield and get better takeoff. The off-takers are we. They are not waiting for some other person, unless where they can get a better offer. But if you look at rice and the way it works in this value chain, transportation is part of the cost in logistics system,
Sure.
but between where they are to where we are is not more than 2-3-5 kilometers. So you leave themselves and go to our mill. We have a storage of over 25,000 metric ton where we store the paddies to be able to produce seamlessly around the year. So I won't say truly that we have made profit in this business. And I knew from day one that we are not going to make profit. The feasibility study we made was that we will take us 5 years. Our idea is that we will broke even by 2021.
Right.
And because we did things proper, the way it should be done, we attracted international investor. Sahel Capital invested into our farm.
Sure.
But their system is that every 5 years they divest, they have to, move on. That's their business model. They don't get there to stay. But all the agreements are put in place. So they put their first 5 years, and when they were willing to sell, we bought them over. And today it's managed and held solely by Coscharis, but we're still willing to accept any other international investor. We have not yet mastered build the maximum capacity in terms of the yield, because rice profitability in it, agriculture today has become scientific completely.
Right.
Like I said, we have had 3 consecutive years where we had flood that totally, destroy our crops. And unfortunately, the Nigerian agriculture insurance is not matured.
Sure.
They only want to pay you for the what we call the seed, the planting seed, but all the inputs, the fertilizers, the diesel, we burn 33,000 diesel on a weekly basis. You need to be in this farm because the 2 ministers of agriculture have been in our farm. The first was Audi Ogbe, was there with the former governor of Central Bank, the Kebbi State governor who represent the president. We had the second governor. This farm, the total road network we created in the farm is about 200 kilometers. 3 hours you are in our farm, you haven't end from beginning to the end of it. So it's a masterpiece. Actually, the best way to look at our farm is to come by helicopter.
Wow.
When late Herbert Nwigwe visited, I think we rented the helicopter of your agency, and he came by air. He couldn't believe himself because that's the only way you can be able to tour the farm under 1 hour or 30 minutes from the up to see everything. Really professional the way it's done abroad. I am very proud that as an Ambararian, because I'm a capitalist, and as a capitalist, you need to, go for business opportunity where it presents itself.
Yes.
But a lot of people say you must do something in Anambra State, but you can't do, as a capitalist, you cannot make investment based on emotional attachment. Today, I am confident that we are taking the Eastern market, a captive market, to deliver rice. We have the best quality rice that exists in the market today, and we sell at a premium.
Fantastic, sir. So, Dr. Cosmas, what I love about what you just said about your rice story is the fact that you have created jobs and changed lives. 15,000 people is amazing. And it creates a sustainable community. The fact that they can now grow their own crops, and then you get the first pick of buying from them. So you've created a sense of livelihood for them. So that is absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
Great. So we'll take a quick break right now, and we'll continue with this wonderful conversation with Dr. Cosmas when we come back.
Champions of change. Paying it forward. Join us and be part of the movement.
Do you feel terrified when speaking before a group? Are you stressed when asked to present? Do you forget your points? Are you shy? and need confidence? How do you give a speech with polish? Learn how at the School of Eloquence,
the home of public speaking. Attend our 2-day practical training in public speaking. Call 0802 303 2066 or log on to schoolofeloquence.org.
School of Eloquence, teaching the world to speak.
Champions of change, paying it forward. Join us and be part of the movement.
Welcome back to Champions of Change. I'm right here with Dr. Cosmas, and we've been having a wonderful conversation about his CSR, his farm, and just his incredible wisdom. So Dr. Cosmas, tell me, I know that you are a phenomenal mentor.
Thank you.
And you are also a man who empowers people.
Absolutely.
And I know you have empowered so many young entrepreneurs.
Sure.
Namely Stanley Uzochukwu of Stanel Oil and Delbra. So tell me, what do you look for in somebody you want to empower or mentor, and why is mentoring quite important?
Well, I am a great advocate of mentorship. You can call it mentorship, you can call it apprenticeship. I am a product of apprenticeship, and that's where you learn under somebody and be tutored on all the rudiments that you require to run a business. University is a very good place to do that, but the only unfortunate thing is that there's no hands-on. You know, you have theoretical knowledge about things and become a great intellectual on it, but hands-on experience you lack. But under apprenticeship or mentorship, somebody guides you step by step for you to learn what to do. Having lost my father at the age of 4, and my mother became a single parent with 4 kids to take care of, life was not fair to me. But I have a determination. And what is that determination? It's hunger for success. I tell a lot of young people today, it doesn't matter what it is. Nobody can teach you how to be hungry. It's something that has to come instinctively. You need to, crave for it. Recently, I was mentoring some group of young people, and I was trying to encourage them to stop procrastinating, to take action and take a step of faith. And one of them raised his hand and said he wanted to ask a question. I said, what is it? He said, look, his belief is that they have been over-mentored but have been underfunded.
Right.
So I tell him to shut up. Because if he claimed to be an entrepreneur, your first ability or sign of entrepreneurship is to create capital. Capital doesn't fall from heaven. You can take a job, whatever you need to do to earn money, and we watch you to see how you have deployed the little money you have in a sustainable manner. There's nothing that convinces an investor more to put money into what you are doing than for you to let him know you took this thing from ground zero to A, from A to B. He could see through that process. You don't need to speak too much because manifestation is the interpretation. He has seen you have the drive, what it takes. Then the help will ordinarily come.
That's right.
A lot of young people or business people have misplaced positions in life. And everybody tell you, look, what my lacking is capital. If I have 1 billion naira, if I have $10 million, you will see me, I will be. No, it doesn't work like that. Many people don't know that this thing we call money have 5 levels of money. The least level of money is what people focus about, and that's what you call cash.
Right.
The first level of money is what we call credibility. The second level of money is what we call credible relationship. You may not have money, but you have somebody that have money. The third level of money is what we call integrity. The fourth level of money is what we call character. The fifth level of money is what we call competency. The other one is the least level of money is what we call cash. Right. But young people are only interested in cash. Let me explain to you. Credibility is not integrity. Credibility is where you are able to record a process of what you are doing. The things you are said, the things you are doing can be verified. There are evidence and proof of what you have done. It can be verified, not just what you said. There are records of that. Now, if Dangote comes to Kosharis to take a Rolls Royce that costs 1.4 billion naira and he didn't have cash, do you think we can let him go with the car? We will. No doubt we will. Why? He's credible.
Right.
We can verify him and his source of wealth. He had a credible position that you can, that what money.
Right.
Now, if Pamela come to Kosharis to take a Ford Explorer and she doesn't have cash, will we give her?
No.
The answer is no. Now, if Pamela knew Dangote and Dangote put a call across Kosharis and say, please let her go with the car, we will let you go with the car? Yes. The obvious answer is yes. Now, it tell you his credibility that become cash. So, many people don't know this, that when a wealthy man or a rich person give you cash, he has cheated you. What you need is relationship.
That's right.
That you need is relationship, that he can put a call and open door. So let's come back to the question you asked me, what I do, how I help young people. It's the same means. Like I said, I've said it in open air everywhere. I used to go to see Goodluck Jonathan, and I saw this young boy hanging around, you know, and I became very weird of him, like, treat him like, keep him on arm's length. It's like, I don't want him to contaminate me, because there are too many clever young people. We don't give them benefit of that. But each time this young man will greet me presently, you know, there's something bubbling in him that is looking for life, but I was very careful, you know, not to, you know, fall for his whatever it is. And over a period of time, I keep on, you know, taking back seat. But one day, I was coming down from Hilton Hotel in Abuja. By the elevator, this young man grabbed my 2 feet. I said, what is it? He said, look, he regarded me as an angel, that I'm a messenger from God. I should lay hands on him to pray. I said, why? Here. Let's get to the corner. I said, please here. Please here. He had my 2 legs. Please here. A boy that was well taught, that believed in what he has been taught. I laid hands on Stanley and I was praying. Suddenly, I felt a hand inside my purse. I heard it like this. I thought he was trying to be funny.
From you,
He stuck 50,000 naira on my pocket. I finished with him, entered car, going back to the airport. I keep on wondering, what a hell is this? Why did this boy put... In fact, you know, I acted superstitious. I removed the 50,000 so that it does not contaminate all the money I have, and kept it away. Because a young boy that was supposed to ask me for money is giving me money.
Right.
It was different from everything that I knew. But I keep on pondering about it. It wasn't long. Friendship was born. People don't know principle, how life operates. A gift is a distraction to a king. People gave me Rolex watch, things like that. I never opened their pocket for 2 years because I'm busy. It's a distraction. So that gift that young man did connected me with him, and we became friends. As a matter of fact, I still remember I was in a Jaguar SJ driving, coming into Abuja, and my phone rang, and it was Stanley, because he already have access to me, that he can call me and I take his call. Oh, sir, please, do I know anybody in First Bank? I said, what is it? Oh, that he used to deliver diesel to Julius Berger. There was a guy that used to phone him. That guy had a motor accident and died, and he's dead. Now, Julius Berger has given him a contract to supply XYZ metric ton of the diesel. He didn't have the money. If I could put a word for him, somebody in First Bank where he had an account. I said, so do you have an account in First Bank? He said, yes. I said, please, can you send me the account? It's not something I planned. It was not in my plan. It was not something I was thinking. But the Holy Spirit told me to wire some money into his account. And I sent a message to my accounting officer in Access Bank to send 150 million naira to that account.
Wow.
And that exchange rate as of then was 150 naira per dollar. That's $1 million. He told me when he received the money, the alert, the phone fell off in his hand. And he ran to his pastors, Paul Elenchi, to say this is what happened. And the pastor told him he hadn't seen anything. So that was my connection with Stanley. Of course, the agreement was for him to return the money under 6 months. He didn't return it until about 1.5 years or 2. But he returned the money. We didn't call police. There's a responsible urge in every one of us. If there's a dip in you calling after a dip, there's a dip somewhere to respond to it. If you are determined to succeed and you follow principle and do everything that you need to do to succeed, God will send you a destiny helper along the way.
That's right.
Quite a number of people sit back and say things went wrong. Like I could have sat back and blame everybody around me, including God. Why did he took my father when I was 4 years? But wealth is not about, success is not about education, frankly speaking. Success is not about any other thing but about mindset. Changing the narrative of the way you think is the key to success. My mother looked at me at the age of 4, looked me straight into the eye and said, Cosmas, believe in yourself and believe in God. You will go places in life and you will be successful. I said, thank you, Mom. I grew up with optimism. I believe no door closes before me. My mother was actually my inspirator, who really discovered my entrepreneurship, because she would fly Akala in the morning and give me to sell 1 pan and 1 for my senior brother. I would sell 2 3 pan before my senior brother sell 1. Why? Because I move with confidence, smiling at you before I say buy Akala. And you said, no, you don't want to buy. If you want to go, I'll hurl your cloth. And you said, is it by force? I said, Mom, tell me nobody says no to me. Exactly what you are doing now is what they would do. Right. The person will, just smile, giggle, and said, wow, where did this boy confidence come from? Who taught you this? Then he will abuse his own child. Say, if this one is by me, he will not have sense. Or yeah, put 5 pence on. That's how I sell. Right. So we went to the same market, the same Akara with my senior brother. I sell 2 3 pounds before he finished selling 1. So I grew up with that optimism that people like me, people will do things to me. So when people tell me this thing is impossible, I'll be laughing. I'll go, you tell me this door is closed, I tell you it will open when I get there. 99.9% as I'm getting to this door, somebody will open it from the other side and I will close. So that has been my life.
Amazing, amazing. And thank you so much for the nuggets
that
you just shared. So, Dr. Cosmas, it must be so rewarding, knowing that you've helped so many people. I mean, I can't imagine making people billionaires.
Sure.
What is the most rewarding experience, in your opinion, that you've had of helping people?
I think I would like to share 2 of them. Okay. Recently was a young man I met outside of this country. Let me keep his privacy. It was on December 24.
Your birthday.
My birthday. He got to know it was my birthday. He bought a bag that is a Gucci bag that he used. He removed things on it and said he's sorry he didn't know it was my birthday and gave it to me.
Wow.
Unfortunately, he forgot his international passport on it.
Oh my God.
Inside it, but which I later discovered, and I was able to give it to him before I left that country. On my honor, friendship was born. After that event, the young man called me one day and told me he had a challenge. I said, what is the challenge? And he just got a contract of $120 million and he need to do something to show commitment to be able to secure that contract. And we had a discussion. I said, put it on email. And the discussion went on. On my honor, I wired $2.5 million to him. He got that contract, show performance. After 6 months, he got the first performance payment of $5 million. Nice. And he returned my $2.5 million. He had finished that job. The person that got the second job did not perform. He's doing a contract, a project of $1 billion United States dollar today. Wow. From that help. So how do you sit back and hear things like this, the kind of fulfillment you have on it? The second one is a young man from my own state. I started giving credit of 10 million naira to 50 to 100 million. Today, he's so big, he built a factory. He also produced for Koscielny's certain product that we buy from him now. And recently he told me he has 44 billion naira. He's looking for what to do. He has built a factory in Sokoto, built a factory in Lagos. I told him the next one will be in Anambra. Wow. And when Soludo called for Anambra Economics Summit, I told him I came with an investor, signed his certificate of occupancy. The factory is under construction now.
Amazing. Yeah. That's an amazing story.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed this session, Dr. Cosmas. Lastly, what I want to ask you, I know one of the things I really admire about you is you are one of the most humble people I've actually ever met. I want to ask though, what keeps you humble and what are you most grateful for?
It's important everybody that cares to know. I'm a Christian. I don't feel embarrassed to say it. I'm traveling on tomorrow. I'm heading to Pakistan. I'm going to wear this badge. If you don't like me, send me back to my country, anywhere I am, whether I'm in Saudi Arabia or in Dubai. I met Christ at a very tender age of my life before I turned 15, and that gave me a different view of life, that God of all creature humble himself and enter into the womb of his own creation. That's humility. God humiliated himself. The way up is down. What people wonder about me is that they thought I'm a rich man who became a Christian. No, I am a Christian who became rich.
Right.
Somebody God could trust with money. So my Christian value comes first in everything I do. And that's where my humble disposition comes from. I don't tolerate people, like you are up there and they are all down there, live haughty like you know everything, other people don't know anything. It is absolutely the grace of God in my life that I enjoy, and that's why I try to express it, so that if I can't preach to you, you can look at my life and maybe have cause to say, God, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cosmas. It's been amazing to have you on the show.
It's my pleasure, Pamela, to be here, and please feel free to call me any other time. If I'm available, it will be my pleasure to put my shoulder to the wheel and anchor your show.
Thank you so much.
God bless you. You're welcome.
I'd like to thank Dr. Cosmas for joining me on this episode of Champions of Change. His incredible journey reminds us all that success is born from vision, discipline, and a willingness to persevere against all odds. I am Pamela Igbo, and we'll see you next time here on the Achievement Channel. Until then, stay inspired, keep making a difference. Bye for now.
So please keep watching Achievement Channel to keep learning. Thank you.
I just want to advise you, it is best for you to keep watching the Achievement Channel.
Okay, shout out to the Achievement Channel. Keep watching the Achievement Channel.
Welcome to Mighty Moms, the show that celebrates incredible women balancing the wall of motherhood and success. This is Achievement Channel, and we are reaching you live from our studio at the School of Eloquence here in Lagos. Today's topic is focused on moms who build empires, entrepreneurship, and motherhood. And we are so excited to have with us someone who exemplifies this beautifully, Pamela Igbo, a beautiful leader and mother who has not only made her mark in business development, but also as the former executive director of Obi Jackson Foundation. Pamela, we are happy to have you on the show today.
It's great to be here, Sarah. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Pamela, you've had such a rich and diverse career in business development and leadership. Can you walk us through the journey, especially as a mother raising a daughter and at the same time navigating the world of entrepreneurship?
Thank you, Sarah. I think for me, you know the saying that goes, necessity is the mother of invention. So that was typical for my case. I never really thought about being an entrepreneur. I was just going to do the 9-to-5 pathway journey in terms of my career. But I found myself a single mother going through a divorce when my daughter was pretty young at 18 months. And so I had to sort of decide at that moment that I wanted to be there for my daughter, and I did not want to miss any part of her growing up, especially now that I was no longer part of a nuclear family and I was going it alone. So that started my journey of entrepreneurship, deciding to not do a 9-to-5 job and look for ways of earning an income and still being very, very present in my daughter's life.
That's great. You were once the executive director of Obi Jackson Foundation, which tackles critical issues like health and education, particularly in the rural areas. How did your role influence your perspective on leadership and social impact, especially as a mother and an entrepreneur?
Great question. Like you said, the Obi Jackson Foundation, a great foundation. I used to be the executive director. We worked particularly with rural women in the eastern part of Nigeria, particularly Anambra State. I think as a mother, you're always a mother in whatever circumstance you find yourself, and meeting women who they were obviously entrepreneurs in their own way, doing it at a very low level. It was good to be able to find ways of supporting them and creating avenues where they could have inclusion, financial inclusion through microcredit, or just supporting them and giving them information on how they can make their lives better. So in that way, it was a very fulfilling and rewarding time there.
That's great. Pamela, you created Hannah and Hugh. You started Hannah and Hugh Limited. when your daughter was just 18 months. What were the toughest challenges you had to face at that time? And how did you overcome them as a mother?
Okay, so first of all, I want to say Hannah and Hugh is a natural skincare company. So the story behind that is when my daughter was a baby, she had eczema. And we're talking, she's 18 years old now, so we're talking 18 years ago, there wasn't much about natural skincare. Particularly when I lived in England, you would go to the doctor and they would give you steroid creams. And so being very frustrated, I decided to go and take a skincare course. And that's how Hannah and Hugh was born. And so I took my recipes to a manufacturer and decided to create a range for children, particularly children born with eczema and parents who were looking for an alternative to the steroid creams that were in the market at the time. And so obviously, being a single mother, it wasn't easy. I think living in Nigeria gives you a certain support network that you don't have when you're living abroad necessarily. So trying to juggle not having much of a support network and trying to start my company, my skincare products, that was the biggest challenge. I think not having as much support as I do now that I'm back living in Nigeria, but also trying to be focused and make sure that this was going to work. So that was, I would say, the biggest challenge that I faced at the time.
How has the business been so far?
Yeah, it was very successful in England. I was able to sell it, take it to market, and it was stocked at different natural skincare stores. And I was also selling it at Health Plus here in Nigeria. It took a bit of a break during COVID, but we're getting ready to relaunch it in January again.
Wonderful. This inspiring conversation comes up immediately after our break. Please stay tuned. Motherhood is a transformative journey that shapes our children and us. It's filled with joy, challenges, and profound growth. Today, we honor the unsung heroes, our mothers, whose love and dedication lay the foundation for our achievements.